that Bryce Miller will get the start in tomorrow's game. So there'll be almost a complete rotation happening for your Seattle Mariners. Other games happening right now, bottom of the second, no score between the White Sox and the Orioles. That one in Baltimore, one final on the day. Reds beat the Cubs in Chicago 6-2. Still to come, Dodgers and Yankees get together in L.A. You got the Diamondbacks and Nationals in Arizona. Pirates on the road in San Diego. Astros got their tail kicked last night by the Rays, hoping we see the same in Game 2 of that series in Houston. Royals and Tigers in Kansas City. Rangers host the Cardinals. Other news in the NFL, 49ers defensive line renovation continues. They are finalizing a trade with the Philadelphia Eagles for edge rusher Bryce Huff. It's expected to be finalized next week after the calendar turns to June. Includes a restructured contract for Huff. Huff was slated to make $16.75 million in fully guaranteed money this coming season, but the Eagles will take on $9.05 million in salary, leaving the Niners to handle the remaining $7.95 million this season.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob live at Edgar's Cantina here at T-Mobile Park on an absolutely gorgeous day outside. It is perfect weather for baseball. The Twins in town to begin a 3-game series with your Seattle Mariners. Coming up in the program, we're going to check in with Twins TV play-by-play man Cory Provus at 4 p.m. We'll try to catch up with a Mariners player at some point, maybe Dave Valley. We put out the feelers. Our people are talking to his people. We're going to try to work out a deal. So there's talks of guarantees and shuttling to and from our site here. I don't know what's going to work out, but hopefully we'll get a chance to catch up with Dave. And then we got Mean Text. It is Friday, so coming up at 5:45, Mean Text, so you can get started now. Get those creative juices flowing at 866-979-3776.
Ha! Creative juices.
Wow, already.
Something our texters have never experienced.
Right out of the gates. Just taking a wild swing right out of the gate.
I have to wait. If I do it on top of yours, they won't understand it.
I like Dave's like, Lefko, your turn.
Yeah, I got to wait.
Say something mean. Say something awful.
If we do it all at once, the impact will be lessened.
All right.
So you really have to prolong that.
How about once every
hour?
minutes?
15
You got to divvy out the shame.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Every quarter hour, we just really reemphasize.
Yeah. By the way, where were you texting Matt over here? I saw your little sly look. You were smiling, looking at your phone, right?
No, I wasn't texting Matt.
Oh, you were.
We were laughing about not texting Matt.
You were giving him a look like,
Oh no, it wasn't Matt.
I thought you were teeing him up for his mean text.
So Brady and I, Matt Nelson, we should turn the camera on him. He's got a very nice umbrella contraption setup. And I was remarking about the setup because he was holding one. He had another one over here. And he's just thrilled that I'm talking about him right now.
Well, he's trying to protect the equipment, which is directly in the sun, which will be in the sun for the next 4 hours. So, yeah, he's protecting the equipment. He's doing it in lieu of his own safety. He is completely exposed to the sun here.
Bob and I have nothing but love for you, Matt.
Thank you.
And you got Lefko over here just getting after you right off the get-go.
What else is new?
Yeah. Dave never has any mean things to say to you, Matt. He's always got your back.
That's right.
That's right.
Me and Dave, simpatico.
That's right. See, what we're doing.
Now you're friends today.
Yeah, that's right. What we're doing here is trying to avoid conversation about the series that ended last night.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah. It's good to see our guy Tim here at Edgar's Cantina.
Hey, Tim.
Tim, one of
buddy?
the great people in the ballpark, makes the world's best margaritas. You
does.
definitely need to get down to Edgar's if you've not been down here and try their food. But their margaritas are really special. And I'm not even somebody who really drinks.
No, you're not.
But they're very good.
Yeah.
They do a great job here. And Tim's one of the great guys. And he's out here. What else can we talk about, Dave? What else?
Dave, how was your morning?
Yeah, mine sucked. There was a car mishap at the household, but
there was a car missing at the household.
That's right. It turns out though, I was able to talk my way in. You know,
You're
I know,
smooth talker.
Well, I know Tim up there. And, you know, the guys out with security were cool. They were just complaining about last night, basically, the whole time. They're like, yeah, go ahead through.
Yeah.
What the hell was that last night? What happened? Yeah, so.
You're like, I don't have any answers for you, sir. Just can I go inside?
Right.
All right, I guess we better get to it. Last night was awful. Actually, it started out, you know, look, there's a lot of frustration with the offense. Offense couldn't get anything going, but you were going up against the league leader in strikeouts. You weren't going up against a bum like you did the night before. So it was a pitcher's duel. Emerson Hancock threw a great game. He threw a great game, and we'll talk about him being pulled and when he got pulled and all that. So both offenses were being suppressed. You know, 2-2 game, and then you get to extra innings, and that's where it got just ridiculous. Just I'm sitting there watching, go, what the hell is happening here? I mean, Colin Snyder had a bad night, to say the very least.
Yes.
To say the very least, he had a bad night. He had a bad night pitching. He had a bad night fielding and throwing the ball to first base. You know, it was just he didn't really throw it to first base. I'm not sure where he was going with that, but it was just you know, this is a series you looked at and said, you need to win. I'm wondering, my first thought is, are we going to be looking back at this series at the end of the year with regret? Is this going to be one of the ones we point to like we have in years past with, oh, remember that Tigers series? Remember this series? There's just those series that we point to at the end of the year with a level of regret, like if they could have taken that game or taken at least one more in that series. Is this going to be one of those?
Yeah, I think it will. And I think the only thing I'm going to see is that James Wood kid. Is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's the one with the body like KJ Wright, all legs. Yeah, if you look at his headshot, that's what he looks like all the time. He just looks like he's just cool and calm and unaffected. And, man, he came in and, yeah, I mean, it was – and, when you look at him, you think righty, lefty, all that. He's just as good against lefties as he is against righties. So
he's interesting in that he's 6'7".
Yeah.
But he's not like Giancarlo Stanton. He's not a muscled up huge guy.
Yeah.
He's very, you know, he's not a big defined. He doesn't look like he goes to the gym. He doesn't look like he works out. He's a slender, just tall dude, but he's got a lot of pop, and he's a very good hitter. Yeah, it was. The saving grace of last night was that the Astros went out and got their tail kicked by the Rays, 13-3. So the Mariners remain a half game in front, thankfully, and we'll see we'll talk about what's in front of them here with the Minnesota Twins in town. But all I could think about last night was, is this going to be the series we point to? Is this going to be the one? I mean, look, there are going to be more losses in the rest of the season. There's too much baseball left to play, but looking at a team on your home field, one of the below average teams, I believe they were 10th in the National League in terms of their offense. They're towards the bottom in all of Major League Baseball, so this was not a good offensive team. And they came in here and put up 18 runs in 2 games. 2 games, they put up 18 runs on you. And this is, again, not a good offensive team. So, I mean, you look at M's had a total of 7 hits in this game, and 5 of them came from Leody Taveras and Ben Williamson.
Right.
Yeah, and again, you look at one more here. I gave you the numbers from the night before with your big guys, JP, Julio, Cal, Rosarena, Polanco. They were 1 for 18 the game before, or 1 for 19 the game before. They were 1 for 18 last night. You just can't have it. You can't. That group needs to get it figured out. And more specifically, Cal is the one with the hit, but Julio, Polanco is just in an absolute ditch.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's hurt, like he's hurting more than he was, or this is just a tremendous slump. The entire month of May has been a debacle for him.
Yeah, and it looks so different because, I mean, he made it look easy there, in the beginning of the season, and all of a sudden he looks entirely lost. And then, I think also maybe they'll reconsider about, having, because you have Julio and Cal, and look, they're going to have off times, but during that period of time, you need the 3 and the 4 and the 5 and the 6 guy to kind of pick it up. And I don't know if they have that guy. I don't know if we can count on, maybe Polanco ends up just at the same rate where he's at right now and just doesn't get back to where he was earlier in the season. So as we approach the deadline, I'm just wondering if that is one of those series that maybe changes their mind to look on the bright side of what they need to do at the trade deadline, as far as getting offense. But yeah, and I don't know when we're going to talk about it, but we'll get to the the official. And
the home plate
umpire was just absolutely ridiculous.
Trash.
So
we'll get it. We'll talk about that coming up. You guys can text in again 866-979-3776. Do you guys think this will be in a series that we're pointing to at the end of the season with some level of regret, or maybe they're gonna overcome it? Look at Lefko with his sneaky look. He keeps doing it. He keeps giving this little sneaky look.
Now I am looking at Matt because we have to plan how we're doing mean texts.
Okay.
Because he's going to have fun. I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be up in the booth for mean texts. So Matt
let
is
Lefko
running.
have it.
Matt is running mean texts.
Okay.
So we are coordinating the transfer process. So I guess more mean texts on me. I can't respond.
I was looking over. Lefko's just got this. He's looking at Matt typing. He's grinning. He's like, did you see what I just wrote?
Hey, so you're doing pregame?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think you should stay here for the entirety of our show and see if you can make it up there by the time pregame starts.
I don't think that works.
Sure
There'll be a
does.
lot of fans here.
He's got to be there at least 3 hours early.
Yeah.
He's going to leave in about 15 minutes.
So I actually am going to leave in about 15 minutes. But no, I think there's too many people. You've seen the chaos, the throngs of humanity that are in here.
Plus, he's got to stop for pictures and autographs.
They
true,
do
too.
that.
That's
Yeah,
true, too.
they
Hugs.
talk to people.
You know.
They grab you. They
Yeah.
say, "Hey, you're that guy we make fun of on mean texts."
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, you mentioned him having a little grin. When Mike mentioned that he's going to leave in 15 minutes, Matt had a little grin over there.
Oh,
So-
no, that was a ear-to-ear smile. That was a look of relief right there.
I'm not even going to try to hide it. I'm thrilled. What about now? Can you leave now?
Yeah, how does now sound, dude?
Actually, I could get an ice cream break in. That'd be
Oh,
great.
yeah, you need a break. It's been a tough 12 minutes so far. But, yeah, it was – look, the offense has got to get it figured out. Yeah, slumps are going to happen, as you mentioned, with Cal and Julio. They're not going to come through every game. Specifically, Cal, he's the one guy when they were 1 for 19, they were 1 for 18, that group. He was the one guy who had a hit.
Yeah.
Julio Rosarena's got to get it figured out. He's coming up in some big situations with runners on in crucial. Hey, he comes up with a base hit. This changes the outcome of this game. He looks like he's swinging to hit the ball out onto the street. He is swinging out of his shoes.
Man. Yeah, that one at bat that he had, I think it was in the 6th or 7th inning, where he was just chopping wood. I mean, and now he's, I think, 4th in Major League Baseball with strikeouts. And if you look at the guys ahead of him, it's like Schwarber and, some guys that are producing. So, that one, that was kind of disturbing because really he's the next guy down when you talk about offensive production. Those are the 3 guys you count on: Julio, Cal, Randy Arozarena. And then we had Polanco in there, but now I'm starting to think, man, I don't know, maybe I don't think he's going to continue at this pace, but there was just so much hope in the beginning of the season with Jorge Polanco.
Well,
he
yeah.
was injured at the time too.
Yeah, now he's going to be taking cuts from the right side, which tells me, okay, he's feeling good. He's healthy or healthier. I don't know if he's 100%, if anybody is at this point, but it's amazing to watch what he's done. His numbers now for the month of May, $136. Polanco's hitting 136 with a 208 on base, a 212 slug, and a 420 OPS.
Yeah.
Disastrous. And contrast that with April, 379, 422, 862, 1284. He was unconscious. He was unreal in April. But, yeah, so that slide continues. We'll talk more about that. But other things that happened within the game last night, Emerson Hancock pitched a really good game. Now, he got in a situation where he walked 2 guys, he had some traffic on the base paths, but he had his pitch count was in check, and you had Wood coming up to the plate. So I get the apprehension. Hey, he's having trouble finding the strike zone. He just walked 2 guys. Here comes their masher, who's been on fire in the series. I get the logic, but he'd only thrown 65 pitches.
Yeah.
And then they bring in Spire, so you're going lefty on lefty. In the very first pitch, he takes it opposite field, 2-run double. Were you first guessing? Were you saying, what are you doing? Or in the moment where you're like, all right, that makes sense. 65 pitches in.
You know, it's funny. I during that part, those two batters before they pulled him, the two walks, I had it. I recorded it, and so I'm watching it, and I put it in fast motion, and it kind of told a different story because you could see where Cal's setting up, and it was just outside, and then. I think also the fact that you had the lefty on lefty, I'm sure they see that he's pretty much the same. I think he's like 268 against lefties and 273 against righties.
And Spire's been great this year.
Yeah. So
I'm not going to get on Spire, but look.
And he's very valuable too, right? I mean, he's your lone lefty. So I don't know. To me, that one I thought made sense just because it just looked like he had lost his command. And, and it was, and you could kind of see the look on Cal's face or his body language. And it's like, I felt like it was, remember in A League of Their Own, where it's like, what's going on with the pitcher? And the catcher's like, she's throwing grapefruits up there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty interesting out here.
Yeah. Game's getting exciting.
Yeah.
What do you think? Well, she's battling.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, what do you really think? He's throwing grapefruits up there.
She's done.
Yeah. I felt like, and I'm sure Cal doesn't say that when they meet at the mound or whatever, but yeah, I don't. And then just, I know we have some audio from Dan, but to me, that one was okay. I mean, I was really on board when it was like, okay, this is our lone lefty, this is their lefty. He's really hot right now. Mm-hmm. But then I looked up his splits, and it's really not anything different. So, I mean, I think it goes back to that he just lost his command. And look, those guys know each other. I mean, Dan Wilson knows what the look is on everybody's face when they're struggling, right? I mean, he spent so much time, and I think it was more of that. Now, it ended up not being a great idea, but still, I mean, you got to go with, what you know about your players. And so to me, to long-winded answer, I was okay with that.
Yeah, I was initially like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I get that there's some traffic going on now, and you got the big boy coming up, but
what was the pitch count you said again?
65.
65.
And he was efficient. Emerson was rolling.
Yeah.
That might be as good as he's been. And then, the walk started happening. That was one I saw people starting to, what are you doing? Why would you take him out? Now, some of that's revisionist history, right? That's after the first pitch double down the line. Obviously it's easier to say then. But here's Dan Wilson after the game as to why he took Hancock out in that situation.
I mean, I think Wood has been very hot, and he swung the bat well, and our bullpen was very rested, and with Gabe out there, who's thrown the ball so well for us, that was we thought that was a spot for him right there, and I thought Emerson, it was a tough one because he was continuing to throw the ball well, but just felt with that matchup it was a good time to do it.
By the way, James Wood is 22 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I
think
mentioned
he came over in the Soto deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he part of
the
that?
Padres?
The first two in the order there, C.J. Adams, whatever his name was, and Wood, and then Mackenzie Gore too. So. They got a haul.
And Soto's not even on their team.
Right.
It's not even on the Padres.
And James Wood, he's 22 years old. He's got 15 home runs, 5 versus lefty and 10 versus righty. But if you look at his average, it's 282 against lefties, 291 against righties. So only slightly better with the righty-lefty thing. So, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was more about what he saw in Hancock.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys can weigh in on that. Was that the right call? Because there were two pitching moments or two decisions he made that I think are fair to question. That was one. Should he have taken Hancock out in that situation after just 65 pitches? The second, Andres Munoz comes in the ninth inning, 12 pitches, gets him out. He's just ridiculous. Should you have brought him back out for the 10th? Snyder's been solid. He's certainly not Munoz, but he's a guy I get. You trust him. He's pitched well enough to where you trust him. But do you think about bringing Munoz back out for the 10th after throwing just 12 pitches in the ninth?
Yeah. See, I agree with you on that one. I mean, the thought is there definitely because, Dan talked about at the beginning of the season. It's like, hey, we need to try to, do our best to win every single game. And, that was kind of the message and everything. And then, I mean, I think maybe they're coddling him a little bit too much, Munoz. I mean, he's an incredible asset, and you certainly don't want to screw that up. I get that, but I don't know. I was just like, why not? Why not go back out there? I mean, I don't know as far as, you know, he obviously knows his body and his attitude and everything like that better than anybody else. But, yeah, I kind of thought they could have used him.
Yeah, that was another one where I'm like, yeah, it's different if he's out there and he had to battle through that inning and he threw, you know, 18, 20 pitches, something like that, had some traffic, but he just breezed through. 12 pitches, he was out, had him done, and I'm like, oh, maybe I bring him back for this, but, you know, he didn't. The wheels came off, and it was ugly. We'll talk more about that. You guys can weigh in on those decisions, right decision, wrong decision. What do you think? Meanwhile, let's take two.
Well, Logan Gilbert made his first rehab start last night down in Tacoma. Lasted just an inning and 2/3, gave up 2 hits and a run, struck out 3, was a little erratic with command, walked 2 and hit a batter in a 45-pitch outing. And Bryce Miller also returns to the rotation tomorrow afternoon.
It's coming together a little sooner than I thought.
Well, Miller, he made it clear he didn't think he needed a rehab start, and obviously they agreed with him because he's right back in the rotation in Game 2 of the series against the Twins tomorrow. So we'll see how he looks. Logan, yeah, I don't know how many rehab starts they're looking for from him. I don't know if they're just focused on, all right, let's just make sure the velocity's there, make sure we can stretch you out in terms of pitch count. See, more importantly, how do you feel the next day? How are you recovering? We're not as concerned with results. I don't know what their points of emphasis are, but we'll see. He's right there. He's right around the corner.
Well, the Kraken have hired their next head coach, Lane Lambert. Most recently, the associate head coach of the Leafs this past season. He was also the head coach of the Islanders during the 2022 and 2023 seasons. But it's kind of like the NHL is almost like the NFL, that retread hire. If you've been a coach before, you'll end up back around there somewhere. You know, these guys in the NFL, they've been on 3 or 4 different teams. Feels like it's the same way. You've had head coaches that have been in like 2 or 3 different stops, and then they keep getting hired again.
Yeah, I asked Lefko about this when I showed up here. I'm like, so what are your feelings about this? And that question was met with a jaw-breaking yawn. He was very uninspired by this, and just as a puckhead, he seemed to be rather underwhelmed by this hire, and not a lot of great expectations. It's not I said, was this an inspired hire? And he said no.
Yeah, you know, I think it's the same thing in the NFL too, that like everybody is kind of searching for their ceiling, you know, and I've always told the story about Tom Catlin and how he was just like, no, I'm not a head coach. He has that figured out. So I don't know. Do you see any traits, Mike, in Lane Lambert as far as being a leader in particular? I mean, I don't think it's a surprise that, you know, he's an assistant coach here, there, and that he eventually, you know, climbs up the ladder.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about him, but just you look at his stops, and he's been around. And really, it's underwhelming because the roster is in such poor shape. So someone's going to have to do a huge roster makeover. That's why I thought, all right, Dan Bilesma, you give a guy a chance coming up from the AHL affiliate where he had this high-powered scoring attack, and they cut bait after a year. So that kind of says, you know what? I'm not really sure what's going on there with the Kraken.
I can see why Francis got promoted. It's all going really, really well. All right, Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/Cyberknife Prostate. Coming up, one issue has gotten out of control in baseball. We're going to get into that next as we continue live from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
It's a weekend clash of American League Titans this weekend in Soto.
Hey, fair ball in the corner. Hooley around third. He's going to score. 2
of only 7 teams with 30 or more wins, both fighting off challengers at the top of their divisions.
Holy smokes.
Mariners, Twins. Wyman and Bob are live at T-Mobile beginning at 2.
This is long gone over Edgar.
First pitch at 7:10.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. Don't miss a pitch all weekend on 710 or the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same, and that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
When the heat's in 11,
cool AC would be heaven.
Dayandnight.net.
Beat the rush.
Act now before summer.
Because that heat's a real bummer.
Dayandnight.net.
Even though our Northwest summers can be spectacular, there's always a long, hot stretch that makes everyone say, man, AC sure would be nice. Well, except for that one annoying friend who won't stop talking about how great his AC is. Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. You can stay comfortably cool when those hot temps arrive. This is the time to plan ahead and call us about installing a high-efficiency AC or heat pump. Or if you have an existing system, we'll come and service it. Make sure it's running efficiently and ready to cool when you need it.
Before the summer heat wave.
Keep your house cool and save.
Dayandnight.net. Save up to $6,000 on qualifying cooling equipment. Plus, no payments or interest for a year OAC. Don't sweat it out this summer. Stay cool with Day and Night.
Dayandnight.net. The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Spring is here, and I know you want to look and feel your best as you head into this new season. Are you tired of the roller coaster of losing weight just to see it all come back again? Maybe you've heard about the new drugs but are concerned with the possible side effects, or you're taking weight loss drugs but also want to learn how to change your lifestyle for long-lasting results. We can help you. We have a team of health coaches that can support you every step of the way. Schedule your free 15-minute, no-pressure phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here with Ryan Roland Smith.
Thanks, Mike. I've been hearing for about 2 years now how you did the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic plan, and you lost a ton of weight. So I decided to see what the program was all about, and I'm so glad I did. So far, I've lost 30 pounds, and my only regret is not starting sooner.
Join the thousands of people who've lost 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. It doesn't matter where you live. You can do our program in person in Kirkland or all remotely. Schedule your free phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you, 866-979-3776. We got mean text coming up at 5:45 today. And when we say mean text, usually we're looking for a level of humor attached to the meanness.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know that some people get that. Some people just want I can't tell if they're just being mean or if they're trying to send a mean text without the humorous part to it.
Oh, are you talking about Joe in Bellevue?
Yeah, that wasn't nice. That wasn't funny.
That was all right.
There's no punchline. There was no. I mean, you can read it if you want.
Sure, but I don't want to.
Okay.
No, I'll read it. When is Dave going to figure out he is not a talk show host?
Like, where's the creative aspect, or was he just being mean? He just said, "I want to say something mean and hurt Dave's feelings today."
Joe's just mean.
I think it's just a legitimate question.
Oh, see, maybe that's Joe. Maybe that's his alter ego over
I'm
there.
gonna lay awake tonight
and go, why is Joe
worrying
hate
about
me?
Joe and
Let me be
Matt?
clear. If I did make a fake text profile, I wouldn't say I'm from Bellevue.
That's right. You got to watch Matt. He's kind of sneaky on Mean Text Day.
Yeah.
He likes to air
Slide him in there.
He likes to air some of his grievances.
So I love it. I love it. All right. One thing that beyond the two teams and the results and everything last night, the umpiring, horrific, horrible. I mean, it was just bad. You know, J.P. Crawford getting kicked out, losing his mind. You never see J.P. Crawford lose his mind. He was on 10. He was screaming expletives and in the guy's face, and you know, you see Dan Wilson trying to break it up, and we saw Dan get kicked out a couple games ago. But it just the strike zone, the floating strike zone. I mean, the ball that JP gets called out on is easily 4 inches off the strike zone, outside of the box. I mean, was it for an ump to be that very? And I saw somebody, I should have saved the tweet, but somebody had the rankings of 88 umpires in the league. That guy last night was ranked 84th.
Is that right?
Yeah, in terms of strike zone accuracy.
Yeah. Well, and you know what they said on the broadcast was true. Like, even the catcher framing the pitch wasn't in the strike zone.
Yeah.
He couldn't get it that far inside. I mean, it was 97-mile-an-hour fastball that was, I don't know, a ball and a half maybe, almost 2 off the plate. And it was ridiculous. And it was, you know, there was and then you know, their pitcher almost gets thrown out. What was his name? Lopez. I mean, he was having a beef with him too. So it wasn't just
it was both sides.
Mariners. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But you know, JP, I mean, like, yeah, he's a super cool guy, and for him to get that pissed. And I wanted to say one other thing. You know, I don't know how much you listened to the broadcast. I got the Fox broadcast. For whatever reason, and I can't remember the guy's name, but
I was watching Root.
Yeah, so he was talking about Dan doing a terrible job on that. He's like, yeah, Wilson didn't do anything. I didn't like that at all. And I'm
about JP?
Yeah, and I'm like, JP got thrown out before Dan could even get off the top step.
Top step.
So, yeah, I mean, I thought that was ridiculous. What was he supposed to do? He was just trying to get in between. I mean, at that point, you're just trying to hope he doesn't get suspended. You know, you're trying to keep him from doing something like throwing fists or something like that that is going to get him suspended and fined and all that stuff. But he was already thrown out. I mean, it happened instantaneously. And I think, you know, he went right to whatever the word that you're not supposed to say. I think
there were a couple of them,
a couple phrases.
Yeah.
And he was gone. So yeah, I don't blame JP, but yeah, it was just absolutely ridiculous.
Well, it's just an example of what goes on, and some guys are worse than others. I mean, we've certainly talked about the CB Buckners and Laz Diaz and, you know, Angel Hernandez before he retired. I mean, just awful. There are reasons you shouldn't know their names, right? You shouldn't know the umpires' names. And It's just something that I am 100% in favor of ABS.
Yeah.
Now, you were against it. Others have been against it. I'm asking you. I'm asking any of our listeners that have been, no. I like having the ump back there. What is your argument in favor of keeping umps?
Yeah.
What is it that's appealing to you? What is charming about the human element there? What is so great that you don't want to? What is it you don't want to lose with the human element there?
Yeah. Well, I think you said in your email, it's not cute anymore.
No, there's no charm to that. It's not cute,
I-
especially in a game where hits are hard to come by. Runs were hard to come by. This was a pitcher's duel going on, so those missed strike calls are a big deal.
Yeah. Well, and it was just brewing up to that point. Master Boney had an at-bat where he threw a ball that should have been a strike, another ball that should have been a strike, and then the same pitch, and it's a strike, and it should have been a ball. Then he has some words with the ump. I know Rowdy Tellez was having words with him, and then their pitcher, the Nationals pitcher, was having words with him. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And, we're so into technology on all the other things, like with replay and football and stuff like that. I think everybody's to the point now, hey, we have the technology to get it right. Let's get it right, because you don't want to lose a game, and I don't know that they lost that game because of that. The umpire, I didn't want to say his name, so I didn't look it up, but the home plate umpire, he took a couple of shots early on. Did you see that?
What, the ump? Yeah, he got hit in the throat.
He got hit in the throat or the head or whatever.
Got hit in the throat with his. They got the little protector that hangs down.
Yeah. And then he took one in the ribs.
Yeah,
and
that one I couldn't see where. They said the bicep initially. I couldn't tell where that one hit him. But
I mean, I think they should have given him the how many fingers am I holding up routine, and of course the answer to that would be Tuesday. You like the dad joke? No, wasn't even listening. But yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. I thought maybe he had gotten a concussion or something like that. So maybe that was the case. But I don't see any reason for it. If you have the technology to get things right, and I know I'm very much that way as far as football goes, why wouldn't you do that? So yeah, I'm entirely for that. Let's get rid of the the balls and strikes.
Yeah, look, nobody's losing their job. The ump's still there. They still got to make the calls at the plate. They still got to call catcher's interference. If that happens, obviously if there's a play at the plate, they're there. They're not losing a job. You're just taking that off their plate because a lot of these guys just are frankly not good at it.
Yeah.
And it's impacting the game in a bad way. But I'm curious, if you're somebody that's in support of, hey, no, I like the human element. That's fun. That's charming. That's the way it's been. That's the way it should stay. Why?
Yeah, well, and especially since it was so bad. How about this? That that's probably a stupid idea. I was going to say, if you have like 2 or 3 that are, somebody's moderating or monitoring the whole thing, maybe if he has 2 that are just ridiculous or a certain degree off the plate, that you change, switch the home plate umpire. I don't know, man. It's pretty ridiculous right now. And like I said, I used to like to complain about it, but now after that, last night, and then, the whole thing ends up getting JP tossed, which is kind of a disturbing scene. And, I don't mind seeing that kind of stuff, but I'm sure for, the team and everything, it's just not, you don't want that happening out on the field. If you're getting JP that pissed off, that's when, okay, we've gone over the line.
Based on your awful takes, pretty soon there will be no baseball players. It will just be AI robots playing on the field. Yeah, that made perfect sense. That's exactly what we're calling for. Weird jump from a system that's already in existence in the minor leagues that's being tested that will be here. So I would buckle up if I were you, Cupcake, because it's coming. It's coming. It's not a matter of if, but when. It's coming. And again, it doesn't replace the umpire. The umpire will still be there. They're still relevant. There's still a need for them. But when you have as much variation as you do behind the plate, and it's altering outcomes of games in certain instances, they got to fix it. You've got the ability to fix it. We saw it in spring training. It's quick. We've seen them challenge. We see them challenge, ball strike. It's quick how they did that. Mm-hmm. I was really impressed with how quickly, somebody would challenge.
Oh, the process?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like you didn't even notice it.
Yeah, so the system overall, my point being, is they seem to have it fairly dialed in as far as I could tell what we saw in spring training. Now we'll see at the big show how it's going to look. But I think it's just nights like that just make it more evident that it's necessary. That's how I see it. But if you want to have the umps and you want to live with the floating strike zone and the frustration that goes with it, all right, enjoy it while it's here because it's going to change. All right, coming up, two big names return in baseball. We'll take a look around at a tightening AL West race. That's coming your way next as we continue from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
It's the next phase of the Seahawks offseason, OTAs.
Jansen, he's going 40.
And Seattle Sports is all over it.
The Seahawks, they're into it now.
The one thing about Mike McDonald is he knows exactly what he wants to do.
Wyman and Bob are live from the VMAC, Monday beginning at 2. Complete insider coverage at seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports YouTube channel, and the Seattle Sports app. We are the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports.
Friends of Waterfront Park is announcing the Meet Me at Waterfront Park 5K on May 31st. Kick off a season of celebrations leading up to the grand opening of Waterfront Park with this all-abilities race. Experience Seattle's reimagined waterfront and be a part of history with this first ever 5K at Waterfront Park. Presented by Brooks Running, Seattle's new Waterfront Park is being built for you. Come and enjoy it. 5K registration and full schedule of events at waterfrontparkseattle.org. Brought to you by Friends of Waterfront Park.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and great news this August. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Yes, the hotel is finally opening. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience at snocasino.com. Breathtaking views of the Cascades in Snoqualmie Valley, an expanded non-smoking gaming floor, awesome destination spa, a 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yes, new food venues, restaurants as well. You can book at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist, because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years? Like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models. Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with 0 investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Ladies, and you guys too, have you noticed visible signs of aging, those deep wrinkles, fine lines, and facial creases stealing your youthful glow? Sagging skin, crow's feet, and loss of facial contour are all natural effects of aging, but you no longer have to let them define your appearance. Introducing the New Skin Lift, the groundbreaking facelift led by Dr. Brian Scott. The advanced New Skin Lift addresses key signs of facial aging for women and men, restoring natural youthful contours. Whether it's replenishing volume lost over time or lifting the skin to smooth out those creases, the New Skin Lift can help you look 10 to 20 years younger with both surgical and non-surgical options. It's Hollywood's best kept secret and now available to you. Get a free consultation and save $250 off your New Skin facelift. Schedule at newskinlift.com or 206-222-1225. Look 10 to 20 years younger and restore your youthful appearance with the New Skin facelift. newskinlift.com.
Wyman Bob
from the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776.
Tim says we're winning today. I believe him.
He's calling for a win?
Calling for a win.
All right. So if the Mariners win, you come down, you high-five Tim, you have one of his margaritas here at Edgar's Cantina, you tell him he's right about everything, and if they lose, you blame him. You point at him and say it's all your fault.
If you lose, you buy 2 margaritas.
You're still winning with 2. You're winning even more. Yeah, texts are active. We're having some good exchanges with some of the texters here.
Oh, boy.
866-979-3776. I love it.
Just dedicate the entire show on Friday
to
just
texters.
4 hours of mean texts.
Yeah. Well, some people don't agree with our takes, my take, whatever, and that's fair. I love it. That's great. I like a debate. Some people just want to, they just want to get you to respond. All right. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. So we'll see how that goes, but have at it on the text. Whatever you got, we're here for you. Meanwhile, a couple big names returning. Mike Trout has been activated. How about that? He's in the lineup for the first time since April 30th when he was injured here against the Mariners. How about that? And we've talked about this before. It bums me out. Look, I know he's a guy that has just wrecked the Mariners over the years, especially here in T-Mobile. He's had no problems with marine lair. Ball doesn't carry. That doesn't apply to Mike Trout in T-Mobile. It has not and does not. But the baseball fan of me that just appreciates watching great players across the league, he's a guy I loved watching, except when he played the Mariners. I loved watching it. He was a generational talent, and to see how things have gone, and obviously he's an older player, but, I mean, just every year now it seems like is marred by an injury to whatever level that's keeping him out of the game.
He also looks like one of those guys that could play pretty much any sport. He's just such a great athlete. And, man, I'm looking at his career splits, 185 games. Now, this isn't home and away, but 185 games against the Mariners. He's batting .321 in those games with over 1,000 OPS.
How many home runs?
And it is 54 home runs against the Mariners. And that's 185 games. And then 135
so
RBIs.
Ridiculous. I think he might. They put that stat up before. It's been up a bunch, and I can't remember. If the Mariners aren't the team that he's homered against the most, they're second. I mean, I think that might be the team he's done the most damage against is the Seattle Mariners.
Let me look. Yeah, I mean the next closest, I think, is 44 which is the Rangers. I mean, no surprise because they're in the division.
Yeah,
so
you're playing
them. But yeah, he's hit more home runs against the Mariners than anyone.
I don't know how you feel or the listeners feel about him, but just as if you're a fan of the sport, the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, I assume, like me, there are players you just love to watch, even when they're not on your team.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not rooting for him against the Mariners, but he's just one of those guys. Like Aaron Rodgers was that guy for me forever. I loved watching Aaron Rodgers play. I appreciate guys who are that talented and that special, and Mike Trout is one of those guys, and we'll see how it goes for him. But it's just been an unfortunate, series of injury after injury. He's just not been available, and he's just not the guy that he was, which happens to everybody. The other guy that's set to make a return, who I don't want to see, I don't love watching him quite as much, is Yordan Alvarez.
Yeah.
He's just been a nightmare for the Mariners as well. But I can't. There's nobody on the Astros I look forward to watching play. There are guys I wish we had.
Yeah.
There are guys I wouldn't mind seeing in a Mariners uniform, but my disdain for that team goes so deep that I can't even appreciate the great talent they have.
Well, I don't. Yordan Alvarez, I didn't realize how long he's been in the league, but I mean, if you look at his numbers, they're pretty comparable to what Trout has done against the Mariners. He's in 62 games. What did I say Trout was, 85 or something like that? So he's batting .312 against the Mariners in his career. 400 on base, almost 1,000 OPS.
How many homers?
15 home runs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that doesn't excite me.
The return of Alvarez.
Two guys are Mariner killers.
Yeah, we just saw the Mariners had their hands full with that Astros team without Alvarez, without Bregman, without Tucker, all these guys that have made them a great team, and him coming back just, good. I'm not wishing injury on anybody, but yeah, I don't want to see him. I don't need that stress in my life, Dave.
I know. Well, you mentioned earlier about Trout. I mean, those guys don't seem to have any problem hitting in this ballpark.
None.
Especially Trout.
And it doesn't matter the time of year, the marine lair or whatever. And I'm not, I think, the ball, this is a pitcher's park. It does not carry the way it does in other parks, certainly early in the season. But I don't know, man. Certain guys on certain teams don't seem to have an issue with it. Now, maybe it would be in their head a little bit more if they had to play here full time. If this was their home field, maybe it becomes more of a mental thing. I don't know, but we just saw the Nationals breeze through here and put up 18 runs in 2 games.
Yeah.
And the Mariners had trouble. They had trouble getting the ball in the air and getting it out of here. 7 hits this game last night. What was it? 5 hits the night before. Just dreadful.
Yeah. By the way, at Safeco Field, Trout has hit 33 home runs, 6 triples, 16 doubles, 333 average, over 1,000 OPS.
What are his numbers at T-Mobile Park?
What's that?
Was that before it became T-Mobile?
What did I say?
You said Safeco.
Oh.
I thought you were saying that's what he hit before they changed the name, and then.
Yeah, well, it's funny. In Baseball Reference, it says Safeco Field.
Okay.
Yeah. So Safeco.
They need to catch
T-Mobile,
up.
Doesn't matter. Any ballpark in Seattle, he can hit home runs.
Yeah, he will, and we'll see what he looks like when he comes back. If you're an Angels fan, don't you just feel like, man, we blew it? We had 2 generational talents on the same team.
Yeah.
You had Trout and Ohtani on that team and did nothing. Did Bupkis.
Yep.
And now Ohtani's been gone. This is a shell of what Trout used to be, and they're still bad. So, bummer for Angel fans, certainly, but for baseball fans, it'll be interesting to see these guys come back. More importantly, I'd rather watch Trout than Alvarez, and we'll see what he does. Make sure to catch all the excitement on this Mariners homestand. Don't miss a special K-pop fireworks show tonight. Tuesday is Bark in the Park night. That's always a cool event. Wednesday is a Pride Month ticket special, and Thursday afternoon is a value game. So a lot of different promotions coming your way. For more info, just go to mariners.com/tickets. Meanwhile, Sam Darnold weighed in on how his first offseason is going with the Seahawks. We'll get into some of the questions we still have. That's coming your way as we continue live from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
It's It's a weekend clash of American League Titans this weekend in Soto.
Hey, fair ball in the corner. Pulley around third. He's going to score.
Two of only 7 teams with 30 or more wins, both fighting off challengers at the top of their divisions.
Holy smokes.
Mariners, Twins. Wyman and Bob are live at T-Mobile beginning at 2.
This is long gone over Edgar.
First pitch at 7:10.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. Don't miss a pitch all weekend on 710 or the Seattle Sports app.
Hi, this is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. Spring has sprung. Need color to brighten up your yard or privacy trees to keep your neighbors guessing? Now is the time to buy. With hundreds of trees arriving in the nursery daily, Big Trees has the perfect tree for you. Check out our updated inventory list online at bigtreesupply.com or come visit the nursery today.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Riverside Roofing is offering $1,000 off a new roof replacement. Book a free estimate online, and when you meet with Brandon, that's Don's son, tell him you heard the message on the radio station. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. It's Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Classic Collector Car Truck and Boat Auction, Saturday, May 31st at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Hundreds of cars, vintage, muscle, exotic, classics, trucks, boats, and more. Saturday, May 31st at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Millions of dollars in inventory, many must sell with no reserve whatsoever. Get lucky, get local, and get in line for the Northwest's greatest collector car auction. Auction details at luckyoldcar.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Headed to the ballpark? Skip the traffic jams, parking fees, and the stress of driving. Make riding transit part of your game day ritual. Roll in with your crew, talk stats, and meet fans. No traffic, no stress. Community Transit riders enjoy seamless connections to light rail and ferries to get to Seattle and beyond. And youth 18 and under ride the bus for free. All in for the win. Plan your trip with Community Transit at ctgo.org/home run.
Testing.
We're live from Chick-fil-A.
This is Grant.
And this is Laura.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that sweet bun.
And that chicken filet was perfectly crispy and soft at the same time.
And that Smokehouse Barbecue sauce, it's a lot of fun. And the brown sugar bacon definitely had a little bit more pizzazz. Also, the mac, one of the all-time greats. Man, I'm getting hungry.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia. puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. Your lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh. Did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners begin their series with the Minnesota Twins tonight. Game 1 of that series. They send Brian Wu to the hill, so you feel good about their chances in Game 1. You can catch all of the action of that starting at 6 o'clock with the pregame show, 7:10 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 7:10. Meanwhile, taking a look at your scoreboard, one final on the day. The Reds take out the Cubs in Chicago 6-2. Right now, the only game going on is the White Sox and Orioles. No score between those two teams. They're in the bottom of the 6th. In Baltimore, still to come, the Phillies playing host to the Brewers. A's on the road in Toronto to take on the Blue Jays. Guardians and Angels in Cleveland. Rockies on the road to take on the Mets. Marlins and Giants in Florida. Braves host the Red Sox. Rangers hosting the Cardinals. Tigers and Kansas City get together. And the Astros, who got their tail kicked by the Rays last night, look to do it again tonight in Houston. One other note from the world of the NFL, 49ers and the Eagles are in trade discussions for edge rusher Bryce Huff. Trade is expected to be finalized next week after the calendar turns to June. It includes a restructured contract for Huff. He was slated to make $16.75 million in fully guaranteed money in 2025, but the Eagles will take on $9.05 million in salary, leaving the Niners to handle the remaining $7.95 million this season.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Still to come on the show, we're going to be talking with Cory Provus, who is the Twins TV play-by-play broadcaster. He's going to join us around 4:30, depending on schedules. Get a closer look at this team that won 13 in a row at one point, Dave, and still didn't overtake the division lead because the Tigers have just been that good.
Yeah, the Tigers, very surprising. And, you know, I probably wouldn't say it to anybody who's with the Twins, but the 7 of in that streak was against the Orioles, who are really struggling this year.
I can't figure the Orioles out, man.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, you won those games, so certainly not going to discount that streak.
Shouldn't we? The Mariners just lost 2 of 3 to the Nationals, so
I'm just trying to find a way to weaken our opponent that's coming in here. By the way, you and your read there talked about Bryce Huff.
Yeah.
And I guess it's true about Philadelphia, and that their second stringers are as good as first stringers in other places, because Bryce Huff, I think he started 6 games last year.
Yeah, he signed a big deal. He had a big season under Robert Saleh, and then signed a big deal, and then he went to Philadelphia, and it just didn't click for him at all. But now Saleh's back with the 49ers, and feels like that reunion could reap some rewards out there. Hopefully it does not.
Yeah,
I hope for his struggles to continue in San Francisco.
But I mean, it's pretty amazing. A guy that started 6 games last year got that kind of money. And yeah. So I mean, maybe that's what Philly, because that was the big thing after the Super Bowl, was like, hey, our second string guys are as good as anybody else's first string, and apparently that's true, at least in one case.
Yeah, we'll see how he does there. Again, hope he's got guaranteed money coming. So again, just maybe he'll continue those struggles there, and he's just not what he was that one season. Meanwhile, we'll catch up hopefully with a member of your Seattle Mariners. Lefko's in the clubhouse annoying the daylights out of everybody in there right now, so we'll see. We'll see who he's able to convince to come out here. And I think we're still efforting Dave Valley. I'm not sure how those negotiations are going. and again, we got mean text coming up at 5:45. What are you guys laughing at?
Every time I start to stop laughing, I look over at Matt, and he's laughing, knowing the fire at it. I was, I think I said this during the break that maybe when Lefko walks out of the clubhouse, people are like, "Is he okay? Do you think?"
He's very tightly wound.
Yeah,
he puts off a nervous energy when you're around. He's a great Lefko's good people, but he's got a vibe to him.
You gotta love Lefko.
Can wear you out. Yeah. Meanwhile, Sam Darnold is the biggest unknown for this team, right? I think it's fair to say that when we talk about the Seahawks, he's the most prominent unknown. There are other unknowns where we don't know about the O-line, who's going to do what, who's going to improve all that, but the most prominent position on any football team is the quarterback, and he represents the biggest question on the team. And what version of him do you get? Well, he was on the Rich Eisen show yesterday and talked about what it's been like working with the Seahawks wide receivers and his growth as a quarterback. Here he is talking about, for him, what it's been like working with Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Coop's amazing. He's, the way he moves is very unique. I think being able to get a ton of reps with him and just see how he kind of gets in and out of routes is, like I said, it's different, but that's what's made him such a great player is just the way that, he can make certain routes look the same and he ends up in a completely different spot. It's very unique and he is different that way. And so I think, just being able to get those reps with him has been amazing. Being able to find the timing with that has been incredible because there's a lot of routes, as you guys know, you got to be able to throw it before he gets out of a break. So there's just a lot of dialogue that has to happen there, obviously with Coop, JSN, Marquez, all these guys. We got a bunch of good tight ends, good running backs too. So it's been going really good though, man. Just to be able to get in the building and spend time with these guys every single day on and off the field. It's been awesome getting to know everybody.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me, receivers and sort of evaluating and breaking down their game. I said yesterday, I think Cooper Kupp might be, I think he's a better football player than DK. I didn't say he was a better receiver necessarily. And if you look at his numbers, and I think that's what people are doing. He's had some injuries.
Yeah.
But when he's healthy, he's really good. But JSN is also going to be interesting to watch and see, how much knowledge is exchanged between those two guys. And JSN is always a guy that I've always said, what is it that makes him so good? He just gets open, kind of like Tyler Lockett, kind of like Steve Largent.
Yeah, Steve
Largent was not an athlete really. Obviously he was to some degree, but if you want to compare him to DK Metcalf, the size and everything, but he just had this uncanny knack of getting open and just the way that he runs his routes. And I'm going to be really excited to watch Cooper Kupp because I've always looked at him as an opponent and everything, but getting a chance to go out and watch how he works against defensive backs and how he gets open, and Sam's talking about throwing him open, and it's that's going to be cool. I think he's really going to help out Sam Darnold.
Well, programming note, we are going to be out there Monday, right?
Yeah.
Did we make that determination yesterday?
We did.
We'll be out there, be able to watch practice, and then join the show at 2 o'clock. We'll have the show for you live from the Virginia Mason Athletic Center, so we should have some insight. Not sure what they're going to be doing or what we'll be able to see, but have some visual evidence of what's happening out there. We haven't been able to see anything. I did get a chance to hang out with Sam a bit, thanks to Adam Ray. They're buddies for years, and we went up in the suite that day Adam was throwing out the first pitch. And Darnold's a really cool guy. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
It doesn't change my question about, which version are we getting. All the questions we asked about him still persist. They're still there. I still have the same questions, but I'm definitely rooting for him. He's an incredibly nice guy, and met I don't know if it was his wife or girlfriend, but she was very sweet, very nice. So, yeah, very easy to root for. Still don't know who he's going to be, though. I'm hoping it's last year's version. That would be spectacular, but the Seahawks have once again put themselves in a great position with the contract to where, all right, if it doesn't work out, we don't have this anchor around our neck, financially speaking, that's going to kill our cap for years to come. They kudos to John Schneider and everybody in that front office for being able to work out a deal that's, appealing to him to come here. He's more than eager to prove himself, and if for some reason it goes the wrong way and he doesn't, they get out of it.
Yeah, I'm sure he's really excited to get this season started because, you know, the bad taste in your mouth, the last two, you know, especially when you lose in a playoff game. So, yeah, that's what I've heard about him. Unfortunately, you guys planned all that while I was gone. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it was really hard to get your schedule. Like, when is Dave going to be gone so we can do the cool stuff? And we had to call your family. Is he going to be gone this day or this day? Because we're trying to schedule around him.
Schneider was up there. Mike McDonald was up there.
Oh, it was.
You guys were up there.
Yeah, it was quite a show. It was quite a collection of people.
Was Lefko making people nervous? Or?
Yeah, he was annoying the daylights out of everybody up there. But no, it was just cool to see him in a relaxed environment and you know, just I didn't sit there and grill him about what are you going to do, how do you feel about the offense, or you know, just kind of getting to know him a little bit. And he was really cool guy, really nice guy. But my questions still remain. But you brought up JSN, and he talked here about what he's learned about working with JSN.
He's kind of similar to Coop that way, where, you know, he does things a little different, as do a lot of receivers, and just being able to get reps, like I said. That's the biggest thing at this time of the year, getting to know these guys personally, and getting to get a feel for, you know, how they're running the routes. And now we're finally going up against the defense here in phase 3, which helps a ton.
You know, it got me thinking about, you know, just the different style of receivers and, you know, how, like I said, JSN, it's just kind of hard to pin down, other than you can see that he's got great numbers and he's a really good receiver. But I think my favorite receiver to watch of all time is Doug Baldwin. Doug Baldwin was like, he had like a crossover move and like a stutter step and everything.
So quick off the line. So quick.
And I just remember sitting next to Moyer, and we would say the same thing, you know, after it was a third down, whatever. It's like, Baldwin's open. He's always open. So he was
always a security blanket for Russ.
Oh, man.
Remember the season where he and Russ just went nuts touchdown after touchdown between those two, just had a chemistry.
Yeah.
In that 1 year, they just went crazy.
Yeah, and hopefully, you know, that's the kind of thing he's going to build with those two receivers. So, yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about, and I agree that, like, you know, last year, if you would have said, hey, we're going to have MVS and we're going to have Cooper Kupp instead of DK and Tyler, I would have, you know, said, but I'm starting to kind of change over a little bit now. We don't have any stats or anything. We don't know exactly what these guys are going to do, and hopefully, you know, the health part of it hangs in there for Cooper Kupp. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be really cool to watch these guys work together, and you know, hopefully the coaching and all the Kubiak offense really makes sense to Sam Darnold, and yeah, we'll just enjoy. I can't wait to watch Cooper Kupp though, because you know, I've always looked at it like, oh god, that guy's a pest, and you know, and he's a pretty good blocker, and he just seems to really understand the game, and that was always kind of a thorn in our side.
Another one from Sam Darnold. He was talking about, you know, the development process for quarterbacks coming out of college. Obviously, he can relate to it. Things did not go. It doesn't seem to go well for anybody coming out of college and going to the Jets. That just doesn't seem to work well. Whether it's Geno Smith, whether it's Sam Darnold, whether it's Zach Wilson, you know, it just seems to be. That's not a good launching pad, it appears. So
it's so weird too, because last year, I mean, they finally figured out who they are. It's like, we can't draft quarterbacks. We suck at it. But the rest of the team was great. And so they signed Aaron Rodgers. At the time, I thought, hey, this is going to work great for them. They're going to be tough, and it just didn't.
Did not work. But here he is talking about that development process for guys coming out of college.
There's a timeline to everything. You know, you have guys like myself, Geno, that learn a lot throughout their career and played better in their later years. You know, same thing as Baker, Jared, you know, but also, you know, you have guys like CJ Stroud who just go out there, ball out, and also Jaden Daniels. Like there's so many different situations around the league that you can point to that are so different. I think that's kind of what I'm getting at is, you know, you can see the talent. Just meeting someone, I feel like you can get a sense of kind of their, you know, how their brain works a little bit. You know, are they personable? Can they hang in a room with a bunch of different people? And I think that goes a long way as well. So I do believe that it can take some time, especially, you know, in college. These offenses that colleges are running now are a little bit different than some of the offenses that we're running here in the NFL. And so I think there definitely is a learning curve when you get to the league, for sure.
It's kind of interesting, him talking about the different paths of quarterbacks, you know, and he's just like, I mean, you always you always want a player to know who he is.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the fact that he's talking about that, and you know, you can hear kind of a longingness in his voice there about talking about Jaden Daniels and C.J. Stroud. Like, yeah, sure would have been nice to just get it right off the get-go.
Yeah.
You know, your rookie year, but it just wasn't in the cards for him. So, yeah, and he mentioned Baker Mayfield, and who's the other guy you mentioned? Oh,
was there another one outside?
Yeah, I thought he said
it.
somebody else, but
did you say Geno? I think he said Geno.
did he maybe say Geno?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
Never
yeah.
heard of him. Who's that?
Yeah. So yeah, everybody has a different path as far as their career goes, and you know, to me, it was so easy. It was just like my second year. That's when things happen. Rookie year is really tough. That's why I really admire guys like C.J. Stroud and Jaden Daniels because, you know, their rookie year. Lofa-Tatupu was another one. I mean, that dude had knowledge that I didn't have in my fifth, sixth year. I mean, he was just incredible. So everybody gets off to a different start. And, yeah, I mean, I'm really going to be you know what I think I'm going to be most interested to see is a game that doesn't go his way. What happens? Sam Darnold.
What happens in terms of how he bounces back the following week, or how he gets through that game,
during the game, or you know, or just an entire game. Maybe they're gonna lose this year. Okay?
Well, yeah, and there'll be a day where he doesn't look good. I mean, that's just the nature of the NFL.
Yeah, and so how does he bounce back from that? Because that's really the most important part.
Yeah, he is, and I'll say this again, he is an easy guy to root for, and you know, one thing that I thought was pretty cool, and I don't know if I was not supposed to say this or not, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's not a big deal. But when we were up there with him in the suite, and Adam did his first pitch, I don't know how many people saw it, but he went out there and acted like he fell down, acted like he hurt his arm, and then he's hitting his arm like, bring in the relief pitcher, and that's when Mike McDonald came running out.
Right.
Well, initially he wanted it to be Darnold to come running out and throw the first pitch, you know, and they're good buddies, so he knows him, and I guess Darnold told him, look, man, I want to win some games first before I do something like that. And I thought, you know what, I get it. That's cool. That's cool that he's like, let me prove myself before I go out there and play the big celebrity and all that. And they put him up on the cam. He put on the what was that hat he was wearing? Was it a hot dog?
Oh yeah, it was the big inflatable hot dog hat.
Yeah, he put it on and looked all goofy, and they put the cam on him up there, and he did that. But he was, when he initially, Adam wanted him to come out and throw out that first pitch, and I just thought that was an interesting response. He just said, all right, this is a guy who's mature now. He gets it. He's like, let me prove myself, essentially. Let me win some games first.
I like that. I'm glad you told that story. I'd not heard that, and that's very cool because, yeah, I mean, I think he's approaching it the right way. And, and we always talk about knowing who you are and what your limitations are and everything. And that kind of humility is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an easy guy to root for. We'll see what he's able to do. But this defense, Lefko asked the question. The defense took almost half season to figure out last year. Offense wasn't great. They still won 10 games despite those two things. Now, when you get a defense who we assume, and I think it's a fair assumption, they're going to be good to start the year. Doesn't mean there won't be problems here and there, but Mike McDonald's second year. He's got the guys in place that he wants, and the guys that were here last year are accustomed to the way things go. You just figure they're going to get off to a much quicker start defensively speaking. Does that account for an extra win? Do you think 2 wins, or how do you see that in the way it impacts the record ultimately?
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe that gives them a couple of extra wins last year if they have Ernest Jones from the very beginning, and even Tyrese Knight. I mean, he's a rookie, but he played well. And so, I thought a lot of that was because of Ernest Jones and those two guys working together. The only thing I worry about with the defense a little bit, although, we heard from Mark Schlereth about Cliff Kingsbury and how he, coming from college to the pros, the things that he learned was about attacking the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Well, that's where this team is really strong. And, I mean, you got great edge rushers off the edge, but really, I mean, as far as coverage, you got Eamon Worry, which I'm really excited to see him. But, you got Julian Love, you got Kobe Bryant up the middle, and then you got that defensive line up the middle. The two backers, I think, are good. Little light on corner. I'm hoping nobody gets injured because right now they don't have a ton of depth. They have Pritchett, they have Job, they have Reek, they have Spoon. And that's just, that's not a lot of depth. there. So, you know, and I'm just hoping nobody gets hurt there. But up the middle of the field, I think they're going to be much, much better. But I think that's where their emphasis is anyway. I'm not saying corners aren't valuable in this defense, but I think the value really is in those players that are up the middle. And I think, yeah, having an entire season of that defense that we saw them end with, that's going to make a huge difference.
Hey, one thing I saw last night was this little story about Geno Smith and some of the receivers out there in Vegas raving about him. You know, in the OTAs, that, you know, they were talking about just his accuracy, his professionalism, all that. He's just getting. It's amazing how much better he's gotten since he left Seattle.
It really is.
But I'm curious for Seattle fans. Are you rooting for Geno? Are you rooting for? Did he endear himself to the fan base in a way that others have? Because I don't really feel that. I'm not rooting against. I'm sort of indifferent. He's a guy that, and we've seen when guys in other sports in this city have made it clear they want out. Fans tend to turn on him. They tend to be like, you don't want to be here, then get out. I haven't seen a lot of that blowback on Geno, who, by the way, if you're not clear on it, he made clear to the team, I want out, for whatever his reasons were. He didn't want to be in Seattle anymore. So as a Seahawks fan, are you rooting for him? Are you going to take pride in if he goes out there in Vegas and he just lights it up? And are you rooting for that? Are you indifferent? Are you rooting against him? How do you feel about Geno?
Yeah, I wonder if people are going to think as long as Sam Darnold is better, then I'll root for Geno. You know, so but yeah, I mean, I think, look, he was one of the top 10 quarterbacks as far in a lot of different categories.
But we never knew him, right? It's
yeah,
we didn't get a chance. You didn't know his personality really. He never spoke outside of the the post game scrum with everybody. You just we never spoke to him one-on-one in his entire time in Seattle.
No, and also in his press conferences, he was fairly like mechanical.
And he could be terse. He could be a little cranky at times, which nobody cared. As long as you go out there on the field, perform, I don't care. But it's like, because I was thinking of Tyler. Like, I'm, as a Seahawks fan, which I am, I'll root for Tyler wherever he's at. I'll be rooting for the Titans. I'll be rooting for him to do well. Because he just, you felt like you got to know him. We talked to him a ton over the years. Couldn't be a better guy. So I'll root for Pete. I'll root for Tyler. Geno, I'm just kind of like, I'm not rooting. I don't hate him. I don't dislike. I just didn't know him. I didn't have that bond, I guess, as a fan. I didn't really feel that connection.
Yeah, I'm curious, and maybe, other than texting in mean texts and things like that, are you rooting for Geno? Because it's really a fan question.
Yeah.
Right. And, yeah, like you said, there's just no attachment to Geno. I don't think anybody. I mean, I think people are attached to guys like Marshawn Lynch because he was just kind of quirky and they just loved him. Even Sherm and then like Cal. I mean, we always talk about, oh, he's such a good dude. Well, that's part of fandom. Like if the guy's just a total creep, but he's like a super good player. I mean, you're kind of torn on that.
Yeah, a little conflicted. Like you want him to do well when he's representing your team, but maybe you don't love him. And that, not that that's who Geno was. You just never had that bond as a fan. At least I didn't. And you didn't really get a sense of his personality, right? The other guys, you get a sense of their personality because they're out there, whether they're doing interviews or you just see it. You knew who Sherm was, especially when he first got here, man. He was one of the great guys to talk to and really enjoyed him. And, whether we're talking about Mariner players or Seahawks players, just guys you get to know through the media as a fan. You see their interviews, you see their expressions, you see how they carry themselves.
All right.
He was pretty much to himself. He was all business, which I appreciate. As a fan, I want him to go out there and focus on the job at hand, focus on the task at hand. That's fine. But in the end, he says, I don't want to be here anymore. So there's a small part of me as a Seahawks fan that says, all right, well, then go. Be somewhere else. That's fine. I'm not, and I'm just sort of indifferent to him now. I'm not rooting against him. I'm not necessarily rooting for him.
Well, man, maybe you would root for him because I think a good amount of people were still okay with Russ because you got to think back at like what did he do? He took him into a Super Bowl victory. So I mean, it wasn't cool the things that he did on the way out. But I don't know, with Geno, I don't think there was ever that attachment for anyone. But you know who does have an attachment? I think people have an attachment with is Pete.
100%.
So Pete Carroll.
I will root for Pete.
So easy
if
to
he
root
goes
for
somewhere
him.
after Vegas, I'll root for him there.
Yeah.
Unless it's the 49ers, then I can't do it. But yeah, they're just those guys that they leave, and you're like, man, I want the best for that guy. I'll root for him wherever he's at. And other guys, you know, they say they want out. You kind of go, all right, well, then go. All right, coming up, there's one mystery about this ballpark that we're trying to figure out. We'll get into that coming up next as we continue live from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
It's a weekend clash of American League Titans this weekend in Soto.
Hey, fair ball in the corner. Hooley around third. He's going to score.
2 of only 7 teams with 30 or more wins, both fighting off challengers at the top of their divisions.
Holy smokes.
Mariners, Twins. Wyman and Bob are live at T-Mobile beginning at 2.
This is a long gone over Edgar.
First pitch at 7:10.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. Don't miss a pitch all weekend on 710 or the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. I'm excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my type of people. I met with Ray, Chris, and Nick at my home recently about getting our windows replaced. We've been in our home for over 20 years, and virtually every window has a broken seal. We talked about Harley Exteriors and their exclusive, high-quality Eurovinyl Olympic Series window. It's manufactured right here in Washington. They're designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And through May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners. Get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY, HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA Club World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Upgrade your home cooling before the summer heat with Home Comfort Alliance and save up to $6,000 while taking 18 months to pay with 0 interest. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com. That's HomeComfortAlliance.com.
I've never had any complaints about my performance in the bedroom. But after turning 40, I noticed my libido just wasn't what it used to be. That's when I reached out to Revive Health. Their team knew exactly what I needed, which is why today, my wife and I are both more satisfied than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy for info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
Rare and luxurious 100 years of exceptional automobiles is currently on display at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Feel the thrill of racing simulators. It's excitement for all, and out-of-town visitors will love it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. Not a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. and that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and great news this August. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Yes, the hotel is finally opening. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience at snocasino.com. Breathtaking views of the Cascades in Snoqualmie Valley, an expanded non-smoking gaming floor, awesome destination spa, a 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yes, new food venues, restaurants as well. You can book at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Roof now, pay later. No payments until 2027. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Since 1968, we've helped homeowners just like you get beautiful, durable roofs without breaking the bank. Book today and lock in summer pricing before it's too late. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We continue live from Edgar's Cantina here at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. Mariners getting set for game one of their 3-game series against the Minnesota Twins. And we were just talking about the return of one Ty France with the Minnesota Twins. You had a brief stop with the Reds after leaving here in Seattle, and now is with the Twins. And by all accounts, playing pretty well. Leads the team in RBI. He's got 30 RBI on the season. He's got 4 home runs. Hitting in the mid-250s and, playing fairly solid ball for them, it looks like, just looking at the stat sheet.
Still getting hit by pitches.
Not at the rate that a Rosarena is, but, yeah.
He's on the list.
He's on the list. Of course he made the list.
I remember asking Ryan Rowland-Smith about, what is it about him, and he's like, man, he just doesn't surrender. He's going to line up kind of inside, and then, he's just not going to move.
Yeah, everybody would talk about how close he stood to the plate when he would stride, and he did, but it wasn't unique to him. When you look at him, he'd have that back foot. He had an open stance. He'd have that back foot pretty much on the line, toward the catcher. So when he would close his stance, he is, kind of crowding the plate, if you will. But if you really pay attention to the feet of a lot of these hitters, there's so many that do the same exact thing. Yeah. So he's not really that unique. So what I think Ryan said there is 100% accurate. He doesn't. Other guys will move out of the way, and you'll see him bend and twist and try to avoid it. Where Ty will just kind of roll with it, just kind of like, yep, I'm going to wear it. I'm going to wear it, and I'm going to get on base.
Oh, and I think that step you talked about with his left foot, just kind of closed everything down. And they got the big. The other day, Rosarena, he's got all that colorful stuff off. He looks kind of cool. Actually,
you like all his gear?
Yeah, I do like it. But he's got that huge elbow pad, and so it doesn't hurt him or anything. But he's just one of those guys that's not going to give up that part of it.
Well, we'll see how Ty and the rest of the Twins hit here in T-Mobile Park. He's obviously very used to it. But what is it about this park do you think is so problematic for teams? We've talked about Marine Lair. Okay, early in the season, the ball doesn't carry. You still see visiting teams come in here and hit well. And the Mariners this year, they're 14-13 at home. They're 16-12 on the road. They're a better hitting team on the road than they are at home. When you look at the splits for the team this year, they are hitting 215 as a team with a 300 on base here at T-Mobile. On the road, 256 with a 344 on base. You look at the slug numbers, 370 at home, 415 on the road, OPS 669 at home, 759 on the road. They're a decidedly better hitting team on the road, which makes sense. This is a pitcher's park, but again, even the last 2 games, they couldn't hit jack squat, Dave. Jack squat, yet the Nationals put up 18 runs in those 2 games combined. So it's possible to hit here. We've seen it. The ball's carrying just fine. It's warm. You got summertime weather. So it's really odd. And all I can lean on is, well, yeah, but they're playing 81 games a year here. And maybe there is a different approach, a mental aspect that's different when you play game in, game out here versus a team that's here for 3 games and they leave.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think, well, the one thing is they have one of the better records on the road, and maybe there's just more focus. I always felt that way as going somewhere else, like you're at a disadvantage, and maybe more in the NFL certainly than in Major League Baseball, just because we talk about the 3.5 point spread. That's home field advantage, and it just works out that way for whatever reason. But I don't know. I like playing on the road. I was always a little bit sharper, I thought, because you feel like you have to be. I don't know. Maybe it's you get kind of. You're going into your, because they always talk about, and Cal talks about this all the time, well, you're not sleeping in your own bed and this, and you're on the bus and you're on the plane and everything, but I wonder if maybe it's too cushy at home for them. They're like, oh, yeah.
You think they got to tough up out here? They're going to make them sleep in cots? And
yeah, maybe. But
peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
Yeah, you look at, they're 16-12 away, as you mentioned, but, you look at some of the other teams. Detroit Tigers are 16-12 away. They got one of the better records on the road. That's my point. The Yankees are 17-11. But the Dodgers not good on the road. I don't know. I don't buy that it's this park, because we just went through those numbers of Yordan Alvarez and Mike Trout.
Those are 2 special players. But
yeah, but I mean, you don't see them with any problems.
No,
they're pretty much hitting that pace. I mean, they're going to hit a lot of home runs, but.
Would you think they'd be different if they played here full time? They play 81 games a year here, and maybe early months they feel like they squared a ball up and it dies on the warning track. Do you think it gets? That's the only thing I can think of that would be the difference. They're here obviously much more than any visiting team, and maybe there's just a different subconscious approach to, oh, wow, I got to square this thing up. And really, really cook it to get it out of here. Versus on the road, they feel like, oh, this is a hitter's park. I can hit. Depending on the park, the Green Monster, what have you. They've got different targets, if you will, that they feel the Crawford boxes much more attainable.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just a different subconscious thing that goes on here, and then when they're on the road, that doesn't exist. Because again, watching opposition come in here and mash, you go, all right, well, what's our problem?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe they should, Mike was, mentions here that, change their hitting approach to better accommodate the park. I mean, instead of just going up there and being hey, let's have a plan where we're going to play small ball or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, especially now it's the other thing we talk about is that it starts to get better as it warms up here. I mean, we do have some beautiful days here where I don't think the marine layer is necessarily having an effect.
It's got 0 effect.
So,
it doesn't exist here now. It's a day like today. Beautiful day. It's just, I don't know. I feel like we always default to, well, it's a pitcher's park. That's a tough place to hit. And I'm not saying it's not. It's proven to be true. It's one of the tougher places in baseball. Yet, again, that doesn't preclude teams from coming in here and just launching the ball, as we've seen. Yet, the Mariners will come up with 5 hits. Or 7 hits. And, yeah, you faced a really good pitcher last night, so that makes more sense. The night before, you did not. You faced a pitcher who was getting his tail kicked the previous 5 starts in a row, and he comes in here and shuts you down for his first quality start of the season. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks. Was that the park? So as far as tailoring their approach to different play, I don't see any hitter looking at that going, yeah, I'm going to do that. I think they're up there going, look, I'm trying to see that ball. I'm looking center. I'm looking, gaps, whatever their approach is. That's my approach wherever I'm at. I'm looking to square the ball up. I'm looking for a ball right here, wherever that is their sweet spot, so to speak, and I'm going to hit it as hard as I can. That's what I do, regardless of the park.
I'll tell you what, at the end of the year, I hope we don't look back and go, okay, the most inexplicable thing that happened all year was that series in San Diego, where they swept them and held them to 3 runs.
Yeah.
Because, that they just looked like all of a sudden, okay, we've arrived. We're like up there with the Yankees and the Dodgers, and we're going to be that kind of team after beating the Padres. But then, it's just been, we're were clawing for answers here. I mean, I think a lot of people thought they should have swept the White Sox, but whatever, you won that series. And then, you go to Houston, and it's kind of like business as usual with the Houston Astros. And then, you drop this series, especially after starting off 9-1. It's just hard to figure out. So, yeah, I don't know that it's a
9-1.
Huh?
They started off 9-1. Where? What do you...
They won that first game 9-1.
Oh, they won 9-1. You said they started off 9-1. I was like, wait, where did they start?
Pretty sure I said 9-1, but anyway. Could we get a ruling from Matt? Or
the replay is going to.
Lefko's not listening to the show.
No, he's not.
I'm the one listening. Matt's the one not listening.
You know what? I'll tell you what. I think most people would probably bet on Bob. Did Wyman screw up that the way he said that?
It just confused me for a minute. I'm like, wait, they started off 9-1. Where did they start? Anyway, it's irrelevant. I know what you mean. It's just one of those things that continues with this park, and I think it's just an automatic default to go, well, come on, tough place to hit, Pitchers Park, which to an extent it is. But when you see a team that's not a good offensive team come up and put up 18 runs in 2 games, I don't really want to hear about how tough it is to hit here.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I mean, and I guess the argument would be, well, you're playing every game here, and these teams are coming in here for a 3-game series, 4-game series, whatever. But when they come in and whoop you and out hit you, I mean, what's your excuse then?
All right, coming up, we're still months away from the start of the NFL season, but the league still provided plenty of WHYMAN moments this week. WHYMAN coming your way next as we continue live from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
We got John Smoltz with us. If you had to describe this Mariner team in one sentence, what do you think they are so far?
It's the Seattle Mariners find a way to score runs. They're going to be in the playoffs, and they're going to be a dangerous team. When they get the confidence that they don't have to win 2-1, 1-0, that is a big-time difference when you're looking at a team that everybody knows just needs to score runs to win.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh. Did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I do need a bundle of things.
When you bundle, you save.
Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter?
Save up to $12 on that bundle.
What about brake pads and rotors?
Bundle those and the brake pads are free.
Can't save more than free.
You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowe's.com/lowest price guarantee.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat. Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states and situations.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Mariners fans, it's time to bring the noise to T-Mobile Park. This lineup is loaded up and locked in. From every moonshot.
Now Raleigh obliterates this. How far? Way back there.
To every how in the world did he catch that moment?
Top play. Air Williamson reels it in.
Be here as the squad shuts the door and lights the W.
Munoz looking for the final out. Here's the stretch and a 2-2 on the way to Young. It is strike 3 called and the ball game is over.
This is our house.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Be here at T-Mobile Park this weekend as Cal and the Mariners square off against the Twins. The fun starts tonight at 7:10 with the first Mariners fireworks night of the season, presented by T-Mobile. Then the action continues tomorrow at 4:15 and Sunday at 1:10. Go to mariners.com/tickets to lock in your seats today.
Hey, it's Ryan Nolan-Smith for Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. I dropped 30 pounds and honestly, I feel amazing and it has been so easy to keep off. But I didn't want to just lose weight. I wanted to be in the best shape of my life. Look, I'm in way better shape than what I was even when I was playing. I've lost all that visceral fat, which is super crucial long term, and now I'm sleeping better. I've got way more energy, and I'm actually maintaining the results. I'm not guessing anymore when it comes to diet. I finally understand my body. The meals are simple, I'm never hungry, and they fit into my lifestyle. And yeah, now that I've dropped the body fat, I can still enjoy an Aussie meat pie on the weekend, and I'm not stressed about it. After speaking with Dr. Coogan, it all made perfect sense. Yes, it was going to take some discipline, but trust me, the results were well worth it. So if you're ready to take control and feel like your best self, go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com and book a 15-minute consultation. It changed everything for me, and it can for you too.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Why, man? Why?
Lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
He's a habitual line stepper.
What were you thinking? What are you doing?
Why are you the way that you are?
It's the WHYMAN of the week.
It is time for WHYMAN, which is presented by Mazda of Everett. Today we hear from LaShawn McCoy. Haven't heard that name in a while on FS1 show, The Facility. Makes a wild comparison of Shedeur Sanders when it comes to NFL quarterbacks.
But now we get to it, and the head coach is saying, hey, you know, we're going to split these reps up, man. I know we got some veterans that won Super Bowls. I know we got some first rounds. I know we got this and that in the third. I know we took them out in the third round. But we're going to give everybody a chance to start. And you like, huh? That's because you see what that kid look like in practice. You've seen his work ethic. Everything you heard about him is not true, right? Don't let the jewelry and the music and the swagger fool you. He a hard worker. First thing the head coach said, hey, he's the first one in the building. He's the last one to leave. Sound like someone else I know. His name was Brady.
Okay, let's take a step back there, LaShawn. Let's just take a step back, catch our breath. I'm sure he's doing whatever he can to show the coaches he's a guy who's deserving. He's, you know, he talked about the veterans. I guess that means you're really a veteran out there. This, that, and the
Super
third,
veteran.
Dave.
Yeah.
I always like that saying. Well, it's this, that, and the third. I'm not even really sure what that means, but yeah, it's, you know, calm down with the comparisons to Brady. You're talking about the greatest to ever do it in this league, as much as it pains me to say that. Let Shedeur prove himself. I've read different articles that, well, he's not doing good. I don't know how much can you glean from OTAs at this point. I don't know how many reps he's getting versus Gabriel versus Flacco versus who else they have? Pickett. Right? Pickett and Deshaun Watson, technically, even though he's not going to be playing. So I don't know how many reps he's getting. I don't think you could make a clear assessment one way or the other based on the level of activity.
Yeah, I'm curious. I would have never second guessed one of Deion's kids. I mean, he loves football, and it sounds like there's lots of people that think Shedeur Sanders is a great kid, and you look at his numbers. I mean, he was 74% completion. I mean, that you can't sort of explain that away, along with the 4,000 yards and 37 touchdowns. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see when and if this guy ever becomes a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not rooting against him by any stretch. I'm curious. I'm very interested to see what he looks like. We've heard other people. Who did we have on that said, yeah, he's a good college quarterback. There's nothing about him that's elite, or there's nothing about him that was special.
Yeah.
Right? He's not a special athlete. He's not particularly fast. He doesn't have a super strong arm. He's just kind of all together. He's good, at the college level, but there's, talked about the quarterbacks at the NFL level that really stand out. There's something about them that they do that's really special, whether it's their escapability or whether it's the way they can read defenses, or they do this, that, or the third, Dave.
This, that, and the third.
Yeah, that's right. But
I'm going to start saying that now.
Yeah.
But you know what? The other thing, too, is that he didn't blow people away with his interviews.
No, that was the opposite.
Yeah, that was the other problem. And, and I don't know, Deion was very flamboyant and all that, but I mean, he loved his teammates, and so it'll be an interesting little side note or sort of drama that goes on in the NFL. They love that.
They love drama. All right, entry number 2, Joy Taylor on the FS1 show Speak. I haven't heard of any of these shows. The Facility, Speak. Not familiar with it, but anyway, she's apparently seemingly unaware that Aaron Rodgers isn't actually on the Steelers at this point.
Why? We're sitting around talking about Aaron Rodgers is not there on the first day of OTAs. Mandatory or not, where's your pride? Where's your dignity?
That's why I say I'm going to give him another day.
Where's your respect for the game? Where's your respect for this organization? Where's this organization's respect for the history that they have in this league? What are we talking about? He's never played there before. He doesn't know any of these teammates. He doesn't know the streets to get to the facility. He doesn't know the doctors. He doesn't know the rehab crew. He doesn't know anybody. He doesn't know anybody. He doesn't know where to get his smoothies. Nothing. Why would you not be there?
Ooh, can we lower the volume just a touch, Joy? She just came out on fire. Why?
Was there somebody with nails on a chalkboard?
Wow. Why was she so angry? Who's she yelling at? Who else is on that show?
Aaron Rodgers. She was yelling at Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I know, but who?
Oh, I have no idea, because I also have never watched or had barely heard of that show.
I've never heard of it. But, well, yeah, she's speaking like he signed. He's a member of the team, and he's just choosing not to show up to these things right now. He's not signed, as far as we know, unless there's something that's happened that has not been made public. He's under no obligation to show up anywhere at this particular moment.
Yeah,
so that seemed awfully animated for a guy who's technically still unemployed, not attached to a team.
Yeah, I don't. I'm kind of with Aaron Rodgers. Like, he doesn't owe anybody anything. So yeah, I'm not getting all pissed off about him making the Steelers wait or delaying it or building up the drama or whatever. I mean, I think he's just trying to figure out, and it's rare that I'm on his side because I do think he's kind of a tool, but he's a good quarterback, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm very curious to see him play for the Steelers. I want that to happen.
Don't you feel like I feel like it's an eventuality. I think he's going to. What the holdup is, I don't know entirely, but whatever. I'm not a Steelers fan. Let him wait till the second before the opening snap of the regular season. I don't care.
I was a Steelers fan back in 1976.
Yeah?
Yeah, Jack Lambert. That was my guy.
Not anymore, though, right? You renounced your fan.
I have a Steelers hat.
Oh,
somewhere.
Okay, so
but
you're like a mini Lefko.
I don't wear it.
Does it have a hole in it?
And would you like us to tell you if it's there?
Well,
You
Mike,
can't see it.
technically, those hats
Hold on, let
do
me-
have holes
No, shirt
for
check
ventilation.
right now.
Look, he's
No,
look-
this
he's
is
look-
Mariner. The Mariners gave us
Okay.
this one, so no holes today.
Yeah. They did? When did you get that? I didn't get one of those.
Oh, sorry.
Wow. Thanks, Mariners. Did you get
Mike,
one of those,
no, I
Lefko?
think I got one. Yeah,
Did-
I don't know.
Lefko didn't
Matt
get one
got
either.
one. Matt
Oh,
got
yeah,
one
yeah.
as
Sorry.
well.
We all got one, I guess.
You guys just lost yours.
Yeah.
Mike's going, what do you want me to say?
One more here. This is Boomer Esiason talking about he's got a theory for why the Knicks play better on the road and struggle at home during the playoffs.
They play better on the road than they do at home. I think they're just sick and tired of all the goddamn celebrities at home. They hate playing in front of these people, and they just rather get away from all of that and go play defense and figure out a way to win on the road, which is really, there's something to be said about that. When you go on the road, it's you and your teammates. That's it.
Yeah, you know what? I say the same thing, and he's a football guy, obviously, but I've said that all the time, that it's the greatest thing winning on the road, because everybody, you win at home and everybody goes their own separate ways. When you're on the road, now you got to get in the bus together, and when you win, it's just such a special thing. But yeah, maybe they can figure out what that is and pass it on to the Mariners.
Yeah, do you think they're really bummed out by playing in front of Larry David and all the celebrities out there? It's really distracting them from their mission in the playoff. What are you talking about, man? I get the bonding thing on the road, and you're forced into that to an extent, but the idea that somehow they're being set back by the celebrity attendance there at their games, and they just want to get away from it. Yeah. Like, come on, man. Once that whistle blows, they're looking at the opposition and they're looking at the other team. That's it.
What show's that from? Is that another show we haven't heard of? Boomer Esiason?
No, that's his actual just morning radio show. So yeah,
morning
probably.
radio show.
Yeah, whatever that show's called.
Yeah, that show.
Hey, make sure to catch all the excitement on this Mariners homestand. Don't miss a special K-pop fireworks show tonight. Brady will be out there just fist pumping. He's going to be going nuts for that one. He's been looking forward to this night. Oh, he's super excited. Tuesday is Bark in the Park night, which is always awesome to have dogs out here. That's a very cool thing. Wednesday is a Pride Month ticket special, and then Thursday afternoon is a value game. So there's a lot of promotions going on. For more information, go to mariners.com/tickets. Meanwhile, the rotation is almost back to full strength, so what do we expect out of them this weekend? We'll get into that next with Wyman and Bob, live from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park at Seattle Sports on 710.
It's the next phase of the Seahawks offseason, OTAs.
Jansen, he's going 40.
And Seattle sports is all over it.
The Seahawks, they're into it now.
The one thing about Mike McDonald is he knows exactly what he wants to do.
Wyman and Bob are live from the VMAC, Monday beginning at 2. Complete insider coverage at seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports YouTube channel, and the Seattle Sports app. We are the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and great news this August. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Yes, the hotel is finally opening. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience at snocasino.com. Breathtaking views of the Cascades in Snoqualmie Valley, an expanded non-smoking gaming floor, awesome destination spa, a 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yes, new food venues, restaurants as well. You can book at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest. It's now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Dave Wyman joined by the mayor of the city of Lacey, Andy Ryder. Andy recently underwent successful treatment for prostate cancer. His treatment method? Swedish cyberknife. Andy, what would you say to anyone considering prostate cancer treatment?
I'm feeling very confident about my treatment with CyberKnife. I absolutely recommend it for anyone who has been diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Reach out to Swedish Cyberknife directly at swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Friends of Waterfront Park is announcing the Meet Me at Waterfront Park 5K on May 31st, an all-abilities race presented by Brooks Running. 5K registration and full schedule of events at waterfrontparkseattle.org. Brought to you by Friends of Waterfront Park.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Get tickets now
Look, I got a dog. Oh.
to the movie event of the summer.
You sure that's a dog? Yeah.
Rough. This Memorial Day, the summer starts with Stitch.
Adorable little psychopath.
Disney's Lilo and Stitch, rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now playing only in theaters.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners and Twins get together. Game one of their 3-game series tonight here at T-Mobile Park. They'll send Brian Wu to the hill, looking to get back in the win column, and seems like the perfect candidate to do so. You can catch all the action of that one beginning at 6 o'clock with the pregame show. 7:10 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 7:10. Meanwhile, the Twins have reinstated their center fielder Byron Buxton from the 7-day concussion injured list. They did that right before beginning this series, so I assume we're going to be seeing him out there. He was on there for 2 weeks after he suffered a collision with shortstop Carlos Correa in pursuit of a shallow fly ball. Buxton missed 11 games after the collision, which also sent Correa into concussion protocol. Correa only needed the minimum 7-day stay on the IL, missed 5 games. So Buxton will be present for those Minnesota Twins. Other games going on, couple of finals today. The Reds took out the Cubs 6-2. It was the Orioles getting a win over the White Sox 2-1. The final in that game still to come. Dodgers hosting the Yankees. Nationals on the road in Arizona take on the D-backs. Padres and Pirates get together in San Diego. Rays looking to beat the Astros again after they whooped them last night. They're in Houston for game 2. Royals hosting the Tigers. Rangers and Cardinals in Texas. Braves and Red Sox in Atlanta. Giants on the road to take on the Marlins. The Mets and Rockies get together in New York, and it's the Angels and Guardians in Cleveland.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We continue live from Edgar's Cantina here at T-Mobile Park. Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. We got mean text coming up at 5:45 today. My text screen is not loading. I don't know if you guys are having that issue, but I can't get it to load on my screen. So keep an eye out for
Bob. It's just they haven't done anything.
They haven't done anything?
Yeah.
Is that the problem?
Yeah, it just froze from inactivity.
Is it inactivity or stupidity?
Both.
Which is it?
So inactivity because they're not smart enough to get it to register.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
You're saying they're a little light on the mean text. All
Little
right.
light, not bright enough to figure out something funny. So I don't even know. Dave, do you think they even know how to text in? I don't know if they know the number. Bob's going to have to read it off a couple more times. Or turn on your mic first.
I was going to say something smart-ass there, but since I didn't have my mic on, I felt kind of sheepish. I was going to go 8. That was the one that looks like a snowman. 866-979-3776. Am I saying it slow enough?
That's the slowest you've ever read that.
Okay.
That's good. Good job by you. How about that?
I almost forgot the number.
You only know it when you say it fast.
I was just going slow. Going
All
slow
right.
for the texters.
All right.
Yeah, there's some good stuff coming in so far, but yeah, some of them just mean, but
just mean with no punchline.
Yeah,
just,
no reason.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see what they come up with. You guys still have, an hour and 40 minutes to unleash your creativity, and that's the key word, creativity. Unless you're just going to send in mean things to try to hurt Dave's feelings throughout the weekend and make him live with it. That seems uncalled
I'll
for.
be laying awake at night.
Wondering what Joe in Bellevue said about you.
Why did he have to say that?
Does he have a point?
I'm not a talk show host?
Am I not good? What's going on here? So, yeah, text in 866-979-3776. Meanwhile, we're getting close. We're getting close to what this the starting five was supposed to look like, what it looked like all of last season for the most part. You got George Kirby back. Has not been good, but he's back, and hopefully he's going to be good soon. You get Bryce Miller back tomorrow. He's getting the start tomorrow in Game 2 of this series, and then Logan Gilbert just had a rehab start with the Rainiers, and hopefully, I don't know what their plan is in terms of number of rehab starts, but he's right there knocking on the door. So we'll see what it looks like once they get out there. But we saw Kirby struggle. Obviously, first 2 games have not been good. He's had good moments. My positive takeaways with Kirby have been there's been no he's apparently recovered just fine. After the starts, he's felt physically fine. His velocity is there. They're stretching him out in terms of pitch count. The results have not been good.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that develops. But based on what we've seen with Kirby, how does that make you feel about Miller? What are your expectations? Different?
Yeah, I think yesterday when we did buy, sell, hold, I think I was like sell on Miller just because I'm nervous about it. I mean, I don't know, because of Kirby, I thought for sure he would bounce back. And have one of those games that okay, it looks like it's George Kirby, but apparently it's going to take a little bit longer. And then now all of a sudden it's making me worry about Gilbert, and he kind of struggled in his rehab outing, and so I don't know, maybe that takes longer than we all think.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm wondering how much say a pitcher has in whether they go through a rehab start or not, because it seemed like Miller made it pretty clear he didn't need one. Now, I don't know if that falls on deaf ears, if Dan and I don't know if Jerry and Justin get involved, and if they're like, no, we'd like you to have a rehab, you're going to have one. I don't know how that conversation goes. I don't know how much sway Miller or Logan or anybody else has in that situation.
Well,
but the idea, he's not going to have a rehab start. He's right back in the rotation starting tomorrow.
Yeah, well, it seems like shouldn't that really be up to the pitcher and how he feels? I mean, look, I
Probably
get
up to the medical. It's up to your medical team. It should involve everybody, especially your medical team. Like, all right, tell me, is his arm sound? Everything looks good. Physically, is he in danger of making it worse? I think that would be my first priority. Is like we got to protect the guy from himself.
Right.
These guys are all competitors. They want to get out there immediately. So I can appreciate that, but let's make sure we're not, getting ourselves right back in this position because we threw you out there too early. You needed to slowly build, and you want to just jump right back in. So I'm assuming they're consulting, all the medical team. They're probably consulting Jerry and Justin and Dan and Woodworth, and everybody's involved in this, I would think.
I wonder with the, and maybe somebody knows the answer, but as far as a rehab start, are you doing all the same studying about the hitters and everything? Because a lot of it's down at AAA, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are they?
I'm guessing no.
Yeah.
I'm guessing maybe you get a scouting report, but it's probably not
right
to the level it is.
But maybe because you want to get back into the groove of doing everything.
Or maybe it's the catcher. Maybe it's the catcher guiding you through, and you're just going with what he's calling. I don't know.
I can't imagine they do because what's crazy? I assume Logan Gilbert did this. I was here. It was a Saturday, and I came in to do pregame, and George Kirby was here. He was walking in when I was. I was like, well, that's weird. He's supposed to pitch in Tacoma tonight. So he went through and did everything here pregame. They had better facilities, state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line Major League facilities. So he did his stretching, all of that, and then literally drove down to Tacoma and just walked right in. Now, I'm sure it was a few hours before, but there is not the kind of emphasis and pre-planning like you do, like when Cal talks about how they prepare for a series. So, yeah, that might have something to do with it. I can't imagine they care about all the net tendencies and nuances of a AAA hitter.
Yeah, and they might defer to the catcher who might know those guys better. Like, okay, I'm going to call this because this guy doesn't hit off speed low and away, so that's what we're going to call. Or I don't know. It's an interesting question because it's. Are we trying to win the game and get these guys out, or am I trying to work on my command and I'm trying to work on my splitter, I'm trying to work on my slider, whatever. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
And be pain free. I mean, it's all about them. So, yeah, I mean, for the manager down there, he's probably okay, you just come down and use us and go out there and throw. But I mean, that's part of it, right? But I'm just curious if. Maybe that because when they say, "Oh, he struggled during his rehab start," it's like, well, I mean, he's not doing the same prep probably. And the other thing, we always talk about this during spring training. If a guy has a bad outing, like, oh, he's working on stuff, right? and and I wonder if that's the case. Maybe it's like, okay, I'm going to throw every kind of pitch, regardless of what I would do normally in a start. And I'm just going to try to, make sure I can throw every single pitch pain-free and without any swelling and everything afterwards. So, yeah, I don't know if that's, like I said, Mike wrote down Gilbert struggled in his first rehab outing. So is that an indicator that like maybe he's not ready, or is it just that he's not really putting full? I mean, I don't think he's full Walter.
Yeah.
Right when he goes into a AAA start.
Yeah, I think they said he got up to just about 97.
Yeah.
With his velocity, maybe they need to see another start or two. I don't. Again, they're obviously treating everybody differently because Kirby had two? You have 2 or 3 rehab starts. He had 2.
3.
Did you do 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, 2 or 3. So far, Logan's had 1.
A couple.
Miller had none.
He had a couple 3.
Miller's not going to have any.
Yeah.
So obviously, they're treating everybody differently. I'm curious about Miller only because, as we've talked about repeatedly, he had spring training, he had his start to the season. He just wasn't Miller in those starts or any of the starts. He just didn't. In moments, there were innings, he looked like himself. But in terms of putting it together for an entire game, he just never looked like Bryce Miller. So what do we expect to see? He wasn't great before he hit the IL. Is it going to be a different version after that cortisone shot? And, hey, man, now I feel good. Because when he repeated, I just don't feel good. He repeated that on multiple occasions. I just haven't felt good in any of my starts.
Yeah, he was having a conversation. He threw that phrase in there like 4 times.
Yeah, and he, one start, he talked about his back locking up on him. Yeah. And he went out there, and then he said, I've got other things I'm not going to get specific about. So he's had physical ailments. It doesn't sound like it was just the elbow or wherever he got the cortisone shot. It was the back one time. He's just physically wasn't right in any of his games. So Is he right now? I'm hoping so. I'm hoping they wouldn't run him out there if he's going, yeah, I'm still, my back's still a little funky, or my knee or whatever else may have been bugging him. I would assume they'd be like, well,
yeah,
you're not going out there till that's gone.
Well, yeah, I mean that's where they've erred on that side. So I'm pretty sure that they're definitely holding these guys back. But yeah, it's just interesting to see what this can be, because this same group of guys that are getting ready to get the band back together, right? You got Castillo, you've got all 5 starters that did this in 2024. They were number 1 in ERA. They were number 1 in quality starts, number 1 in hits, number 1 as far as fewest walks, and then number 1 in opponent batting average. Now, they're not going to get back up to those numbers just because of how much we've missed and everything, but like if they're back to where they were, and I am kind of worried about it just because it just doesn't, the Kirby thing especially concerns me. But at that point forward, if you look at like after the All-Star break when everybody's back together and going and at full force, man, I'm expecting, though, that you could see by the end of the season some, from that point through the end of the season, the same type of numbers from this pitching staff.
Well, I hope so, because the offense has taken a turn the other direction from what they were to start the year. The offense was making up for what was missing in the rotation.
They were.
In a big way, and that has really come back down to earth in a big way. We'll talk about that in a moment, but want to tell you, make sure to check out the Turn 2 Teriyaki Chicken Bowl at the Walk-Off Markets in Section 105 and Section 141 in collaboration with the world-renowned chef Kenji Lopez Alt. These bowls include teriyaki glazed chicken thighs on white rice with pickled, how do you say it, Lefko?
Daikon.
Daikon.
Yeah.
With pickled daikon and
I just
carrot.
ate it, yeah.
Why? Yeah, he got every last grain of rice. He was over there like he hadn't eaten.
There was
in 3
sparks
weeks.
coming off of his fork over there, and it's not even a metal fork.
And I think he bit one of the prongs off the fork too. I mean, he just attacked it. But
yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Lefko, your
Spotlight Bite. Yeah, it's good. Check it out.
It's really good.
I mean, a world-renowned chef collaborates on this. You know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's the best thing I've ever eaten at any ballpark. In the NFL,
really,
Major League Baseball,
Oh, really?
It's fantastic.
Did you finish yours too?
No,
Oh.
mine's over here.
Oh,
okay.
But you guys are slow eaters.
Well, I saw you over there with a shovel at
Yeah.
one point. But yeah, man, it's really good.
Yeah, good stuff. So check it out again. It's the Turn 2 Teriyaki Chicken Bowl at the Walk-Off Markets, Section 105 and 141 is your Spotlight Bite right there. But
Lefko's not much of an advertisement for food, just because he'll eat anything.
Yeah.
And
his tastes aren't very discerning.
That's true.
He's a garbage gut. But
Everything is just good.
Yeah. As you can see from my physique, I'm very discerning.
You're very
when
picky.
it comes to what I eat and don't eat, and that is fantastic. It has my endorsement.
Body's a temple.
That's
right. Got to have the right fuel.
God, my body's a toilet, for God's sake.
So, yeah, the Spotlight Bite. There you
But
go.
I'll tell you what, either way, that's really good.
Yeah, good stuff. So check that out again, Section 105 and Section 141. But we were talking about hopefully the pitching can, once all these guys get back, they can eventually work themselves back to something similar to what they were last year, because the offense, as we've seen, has struggled. They had, looking at what they had these past 2 games, total of 7 hits last night, 5 of which came from Tavares and Williamson.
Is there a little bit of you that's encouraged by that?
I mean, I like to see those guys come through. Tavares, new guy on the team. Williamson, rookie out there. Yeah, I mean, anybody I'm rooting for all 9. Whoever's in that lineup, even Solano, I'm rooting for him. But I'm looking at the core guys that we've come to count on: Julio, Cal, JP, Randy Rosarena, Polanco. The game before this one, they were 1 for 19 combined. They followed that up by going 1 for 18 last night. It just, and you can't have it. As much as I do appreciate Tavares and Williamson and the nights they had, they can't do it by themselves. They're in the bottom of the lineup for a reason. Your producers, the guys you count on, the guys that are paid to get it done, are not getting it done currently.
Yeah, and that's baseball, right? I mean, just when you think like we have this down, and this is going to be how it's going to be the entire year. I don't know, man. Do we take Polanco off that list? I mean, the way that he right now is hitting, Do you take him off the list of, hey, we expect him to get a couple of hits a game? I mean,
probably based
so
on May.
bad.
It's not. We're not looking at the last 5 games, the last 6 games. We're looking at the month of May. Has been disastrous. What did I say earlier? Is he hitting like 135 for the month of May or so? I mean, it's abysmal. And I think he's 0 for his last 20-something. I mean, he hasn't had a hit in multiple games, so it has gone way the other way for him. JP, it's gone the other way. He still leads the team in on-base percentage, which is what you want your leadoff guy to do, is get on base. We're not counting on him to hit home runs, and I don't care how he gets on base. Base hit, walk, whatever it is, unless you got a runner on third. I'd like to see a base hit, but, driving a run there. But, yeah, he took a big step back from what he was in April. Julio and Cal had been kind of leading the charge. Julio's had a couple games where he hasn't done anything. Cal's had 1 hit in each game, which, okay, he can't, if he's not hitting home runs, he can't do it by himself. And then Arozarena is scuffling in the month of May too. And we see him come up in some really, really clutch, crucial situations, and he looks like he is trying to flatten the ball. He's swinging so hard, and he seems a little less discerning up at the plate in terms of what he's striking out on some bad pitches. There's a lot of chase with Arozarena right now.
Well, it seems like also, though, he's missing. There's it just seemed like last night there was plenty of fastballs that were in the zone anyway. So, yeah, I don't know with and with Polanco, you look at how he started, and that was 22 games, man. That wasn't like it was just 10 games or a road series or whatever. 384, only 9 strikeouts and 9 home runs. And then, this last, I don't know what you said. I think it was 145 when I looked at it yesterday, his batting average.
For the month of May?
For May. 13 strikeouts, just 1 home run, and only 5 RBIs. Not a lot of walks from him either. So him and JP, to me, are very curious. JP is another one. First 12 games, he's batting 125, 11 strikeouts, no home runs, no RBIs. His on-base percentage was decent, though. Yeah. But you look at the second 34, 35 games, 312.
Yeah.
And 27 strikeouts, but 4 home runs, 19 RBIs, and he walked a fair amount. So, yeah, now he's back on the slump here, and maybe that was last night with him, getting his emotions out on that umpire. Maybe that is the turning point for him. Maybe he just needed to let that go.
I hope so. They need him. They need Polanco. They need anybody that's in this lineup. They need, you can't have just one guy, 2 guys hot and hope everybody else can.
What about Julio though? Are you like, because I'm very much like, I think Cal he's definitely going to go through some cold spots, no question. But like, that guy's always going to come up with hits for you and home runs and things like that, and continue to be, a good catcher and manage the rotation and all that. But Julio, who's an excellent center fielder, do you think he's to the point where, like, okay, we don't have to worry about Julio anymore?
No, he's got to prove it. Yeah. He's got to show he can give you a full season. And again, that's not holding him to the standard you should never slump. There's going to be slumps for everybody, but he's just got to be a producer. And in the month of May, he's been good. You look at his numbers. He's been a producer. He's been good in the month of May. Can he do it in June? Can he do it in July and August, September? Can you be that guy and allow for down periods? But hopefully when those come, they're not that long. Other guys are picking up the slack, and just to clarify the numbers on Polanco for the month of May, 136. He's hitting a $136 with a 208 on base for the month of May.
I had him at 145. I was doing him huge solid.
That was probably before the 0 for 4 last night.
Oh.
Yeah, he's gone, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games without a hit. He has not had a hit in the last 7 games that he's played. So it's just, it's gone the wrong way for him. And people were texting in saying, well, he's clearly not healthy. I'd say he might be healthier than he's ever been if they're now letting him hit from the right side.
Yeah, right.
Right?
That was the only restriction.
Yeah, so he was exclusively left before. They're letting him hit from the right side, which tells me, hey, he feels good enough to hit from both sides of the plate now. He's probably as healthy as he's been. Right. Otherwise, they're not going to let him do that. So
Unless there's something else we don't know about. And we didn't know that much about, I mean, was there any, I don't think they mentioned it that much that he had a knee problem last year.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. Maybe that's one of those things that goes unnoticed. That's the thing with, you know, in football, you pretty much find out everything about everyone's injury and everything. And at baseball, a little bit vague. Every once in a while, you're like, oh, I didn't know he had this or that. Remember D. Gordon one time out here at Edgar's telling us, you know, how last year my toe was on fire for like the last 3 months of the season. He was going on and on about it, and we were like, I've never heard about that.
Yeah, unless they're missing games for an extended period of time, they usually aren't making that stuff public because nobody's asking. They're thinking they're getting a night off, or guys just struggling or whatever. They're not going to bring it up.
You're playing through that stuff, so.
Yeah. All right, coming up, there's some growing intrigue in the NFC West with OTAs underway. We're going to get into that next as we continue live from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
It's a weekend clash of American League Titans this weekend in Soto.
Hey, fair ball in the corner. Hooley around third. He's going to score.
2 of only 7 teams with 30 or more wins, both fighting off challengers at the top of their divisions.
Holy smokes.
Mariners, Twins. Wyman and Bob are live at T-Mobile beginning at 2.
This is long gone over Edgar.
First pitch at 7:10.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. Don't miss a pitch all weekend on 710 or the Seattle Sports app.
I've always been a super athletic guy, but after I turned 40, I noticed I was slowing down. Instead of hitting the gym after work, I spent my evenings on the couch with a bag of chips. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and when I did try to work out, I ran out of energy right away. One of my buddies suggested I book a free testosterone check at Revive Health. And that's when I learned that low T doesn't just impact how guys perform in the bedroom. I worked with a provider to create my custom treatment plan, and today I'm feeling stronger than ever. Last week, I even set a new PR at the gym. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
Heading to the ball game? Don't mess with traffic and pricey parking fees. Make it easy and ride the bus. It's affordable and convenient. No stress, no hassle. And plenty of time to grab a hot dog before first pitch. Community Transit makes riding the bus fun, easy, and affordable. You save money on parking, and kids under 18 ride for free. See where they can take you and plan your trip today. Go to Community Transit at ctgo.org/home run.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames. Because you found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster. Which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame, and if they are, then you severely overestimated how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster in an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman here with an incredibly special guest, the mayor of the city of Lacey, Andy Ryder. Andy's a proud Seattle sports listener and recently underwent successful treatment for prostate cancer. His treatment method? Swedish cyberknife. Andy, tell us about your treatment.
The entire treatment was just 5 days, less than an hour a day. I spent more time commuting to the appointment than actually being in treatment.
Any side effects during or after?
I've had very few side effects. I've been very lucky to not have some of the side effects that I was worried about with other treatments.
What would you say to anyone considering prostate cancer treatment?
I'm feeling very confident about my treatment with CyberKnife, and I absolutely recommend it for anyone who has been diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Thank you, Andy, and congratulations. Reach out to Swedish Cyberknife directly. You don't even need a referral. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you, 866-979-3776. Getting some interesting texts today that aren't mean texts. They're just, we were talking about Polanco.
Interesting, do you mean stupid?
Yes.
Okay.
720, which is Colorado. Bob is an idiot. Polanco is hurt. He isn't driving the ball at all. Jerry and Justin are too stupid to put him on the IL and bring up Young or Ford because Stanton's tight self doesn't want to start their service time. That's what it is.
Okay.
Dan's running him out there knowing he's compromised physically, can't help the teams, but he wants somebody to strike out in that spot. Come on, man. Use your head.
Well, it's an interesting theory. And so, like, if you text that in and say, hey, maybe it's this. But when somebody says you're stupid for not knowing this,
yeah,
that's a bad way to go.
And apparently this guy knows more about ball than Jerry and Justin do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of unemployed GMs and managers out there. That's cool. Love hearing from them. Love hearing to let us know where your next stop is, who you'll be managing. 866-979-3776 for all of your advice, your mean text, whatever you got. We'll take it all in. Meanwhile, we were talking about the OTAs that'll be starting for teams, and some teams have started. The Seahawks will start next week. We are going to be out there on Monday, which will be a lot of fun. But what do you? I don't know what we will be seeing out there, like how detailed, how intense it's going to be. What are you hoping to see out there?
Yeah, I'm really going to be looking at the rookies and how they practice with the vets. You know, like, are they going to be able to start, especially Gray Zabel and Eamon Wari? I think it's going to be really interesting to watch as well. But yeah, and then just watching Darnold and the receiving core with MVS. I think MVS is probably the biggest mystery. I mean, everybody pretty much knows who Cooper Kupp is, but how are they going to use him? Because he's in an elite body type. Remember we had him in when he got off the plane? We're like, hey, how do you like Seattle? He's like, I've just driven from the airport to here.
Yeah, just got here.
But yeah, I mean, he's a big dude, and he's a good possession receiver. We'll see how they use him, but yeah, I think that part of it is going to be interesting. Also, just how does the offense run? What do they look like? How in sync are those guys going to be? Because I think for the veterans, it's kind of a scheme that's pretty familiar, in the NFL, and so I think it should be familiar to some of these guys, but that'll be interesting to see how Darnold leads and whatnot.
Yeah, we said it earlier. He's the biggest mystery, the biggest question for me. I'm most interested in him, but of the draft picks, I'm most excited and interested about Eamon Morey.
Yeah.
And of the second-year guys, I'm most curious or interested Byron Murphy.
Yeah.
What's he going to be? Are you going to take that step and be that game wrecker that was sort of the tag that was, thrown on him when he came out of college? And it wasn't that he was bad his first year. He was just it was quiet. I thought it was a quiet rookie year for him.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm hoping he's not quiet. I want him to be a very loud player. Yeah. And Eamon Morey, I'm excited about his potential. I don't know, maybe he doesn't pan out. We'll find out. But I think there's a lot of potential attached to him where he looks like he could be a real find right there.
I'm also interested to get, and I would love it if we got an interview with him, but Jalen Milroe, you've heard so many good things about him and what kind of a leader he is. And if he, he's an underdog, certainly, but I mean, a guy that maybe you hang on and maybe 4 or 5 years from now, he develops into that guy, or maybe they end up using him this year. But yeah, I think there's some interesting draft choices. And again, like I've been saying, it's a complaint-free draft. It really is. I mean, I haven't had hardly any criticism, and I saw a lot of people ranking, and I saw one, I can't remember what group it was, but they thought they had the third best draft in the NFL. So that'll be interesting to see how those all the rookies come together.
Yeah, I don't know, the fact that it's complaint-free almost scares me. Because some of the drafts that have been complained about have turned into some of the great drafts, right? The poorly graded drafts, the ones where the draftniks out there are like, I don't know what they were thinking with this pick or that pick, and ultimately they were proven to be correct. When you got everybody on board, you're going, all right, so is this one going to stink now? Because it's a weird spot to be in, to have all the national voices praising it, the local fans, which are the hardest to please, praising it. So now I'm kind of buckling up like, hopefully this isn't reverse jinx, Dave.
Reverse jinx.
Yeah.
What's the matter with you bringing that up?
Which second-year guy are you looking for or most curious, interested in?
No, I think it's A.J. Barner. The tight end. And, certainly, as you mentioned, Byron Murphy is going to be really interesting. Tyrese Knight, does he take that next step? But I think A.J. Barner could be one of those, like, I saw him do some things blocking wise that were really good, and you saw him. He can catch the ball, and I think coming back he's going to be much more familiar with the game. So I think he's the one. Who for you? You said Byron Murphy.
Yeah,
It's going to be hard to tell without pads on with him, obviously. But
I'm just talking the overall season. Like he's the one that I have the most.
Yeah,
curiosity about. What's he going to be? Can he live up to that moniker of being that game wrecker? I mean, there are a lot of guys. I'm curious to see how Gray Zabel looks. Yeah. It's not a flashy position where you're going to go, oh my God, you see what he did there? Or, outside of pancaking people left and right. It just doesn't lend itself to those, oh my goodness moments.
Yeah. Who was it? I think it was Moyer that said, what about Christian Haynes? I mean, everybody's kind of discounting him. This is going to be going into his second year. I think that Jalen Sundell kid is the free agent, is going to be kind of interesting. He's supposedly really smart. I know the Seahawks coaches love him, but
I'd be super excited if Anthony Bradford turned into just a monster out there. I just think physically,
I love his physicality.
I think physically, the way he's built, his strength, his size, he's most set up to be a dominant force on that line above maybe anybody else there. Yeah. He just doesn't, for whatever reason, it hasn't happened. It hasn't clicked with him. I don't know if it's mentality. I don't know if it's conditioning. I don't know what's held him back from being that guy.
I think it's 100% mentality, 100%. I mean, physically he has everything, but he just doesn't finish. I remember even asking the offensive line coach, like, hey, is he the one guy that's maybe the enforcer? And he goes, I don't really want to give him that moniker because he doesn't finish plays. And that was in the preseason. So, yeah.
Well, this is his contract year, right? This is the end of his rookie deal?
Is this his third year? I think it's his third year.
I have to look it up.
Yeah, but I mean, it's time. It's time for him. I think he's kind of at a, cut bait, if he's not.
I think you're right. And more importantly, I would hope he knows that. I would hope his agent or the people around him are going, look, man, this is where it's do or die. This is where you got to show you belong in this league. You can be a force, that you're going to be a guy that teams covet, that teams want. If it's not the Seahawks, it'll be somebody else. You got to give me a season of tape that I can present to somebody else. If the Seahawks don't want to re-sign you, I can say, look what you get here with this guy.
Yeah.
Because
it's very rare that you see somebody who is that much more powerful than other NFL players.
Yeah.
Just watching him, particularly in that Detroit game last year, I just remember going, oh my God, am I seeing this right? I mean, he's just knocking the crap out of people. And then, the next play, it's like he's just kind of looking around and lost and jogging. And
he's watching butterflies out there.
Yeah, I mean, it was just 100% the concentration and the mental part of the game. No question.
Yeah, he's one I'm rooting for him to be that guy because he's got all the physical tools. But if he puts it together, now we're going to find out. Coming up, one NFL quarterback has an issue with the rest of his quarterback room. We're going to hear about that when we sweep the dial. That's coming up with Wyman and Bob, live from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park at Seattle Sports on 710.
It's the next phase of the Seahawks offseason. OTAs.
Jansen, he's going 40.
And Seattle sports is all over it.
The Seahawks, they're into it now.
The one thing about Mike McDonald is he knows exactly what he wants to do.
Wyman and Bob are live from the VMAC, Monday beginning at 2. Complete insider coverage at seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports YouTube channel, and the Seattle Sports app. We are the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. I'm excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my type of people. I met with Ray, Chris, and Nick at my home recently about getting our windows replaced. We've been in our home for over 20 years, and virtually every window has a broken seal. We talked about Harley Exteriors and their exclusive, high-quality Eurovinyl Olympic Series window. It's manufactured right here in Washington. They're designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And through May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station and they're excited to work with our listeners. Get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY, HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Need a new roof, a deck, siding, windows? Get up to $3,000 off any new installation. Hi, it's Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Home projects can add up fast, but we're here to help you save big. Book now and lock in up to $3,000 off in savings. That's $3,000 off any new installation. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on Cat compact construction equipment at NC Machinery. Built for performance, durability, and comfort. Buy now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months at NC Machinery.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot.
Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
An Aussie trucker travels to America to hike an epic trail.
It was rocky, it was imposing.
But Eric Robinson never made it to the end. I'm Dave Cawley. Follow my podcast, Uinta Triangle, UINTA, on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.
Headed to the ballpark? Skip the traffic jams, parking fees, and the stress of driving. Make riding transit part of your game day ritual. Roll in with your crew, talk stats, and meet fans. No traffic, no stress. Community Transit riders enjoy seamless connections to light rail and ferries to get to Seattle and beyond. And youth 18 and under ride the bus for free. All in for the win. Plan your trip with Community Transit at ctgo.org/homerun.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Spring is here, and I know you want to look and feel your best as you head into this new season. Are you tired of the roller coaster of losing weight just to see it all come back again? Maybe you've heard about the new drugs but are concerned with the possible side effects, or you're taking weight loss drugs but also want to learn how to change your lifestyle for long-lasting results. We can help you. We have a team of health coaches that can support you every step of the way. Schedule your free 15-minute, no-pressure phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here with Ryan Roland Smith.
Thanks, Mike. I've been hearing for about 2 years now how you did the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic plan, and you lost a ton of weight. So I decided to see what the program was all about, and I'm so glad I did. So far, I've lost 30 pounds, and my only regret is not starting sooner.
Join the thousands of people who've lost 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. It doesn't matter where you live. You can do our program in person in Kirkland or all remotely. Schedule your free phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
Hey, last night's game was a strange one. Featured some trouble from the Mariners offense to score, and they had their opportunities in the 6th and the 8th inning. And in the 6th, the pretty terrible ball strike call led to J.P. Crawford getting ejected, and Dan Wilson addressed that after the game.
Yeah, I mean, tough call, and you know, I get it. I was there the other day. It's frustrating at times, and you know, JP has been so solid for us, but again, our guys, you know, doing what they did, you know, came back and they had his back.
Don't you think there was a part of him that wanted to go, were you watching the game? Did you see that moron behind the plate? He stinks.
He was pissing everybody off.
Yes. When both teams are complaining, you know it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the catcher get in front of, I'm blanking on for whatever reason, back up the second pitcher that came in.
Yeah, nobody cares about
that.
Nobody
Name is Lopez or something.
Yeah, Schmagegi.
Like yeah, Schmagegi. There it is.
There we go, Schmagegi. Jorge Schmagegi.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was just brutal. It was brutal. But you know, the one thing about JP getting thrown out, I mean, maybe he needed to release some emotions because he's always like so steady, and he's a great leader, and everybody loves him. But like when he snaps, man, that's like those are the guys you have to be worried about, right? It's like when he snaps. But you know what? The thing that pissed me off the most about that was on the Fox broadcast. The analyst was like, I don't like what Dan Wilson did there at all. He didn't do anything. And I'm like, go look at it again. I mean, JP was thrown out before Dan could even get up the steps.
Why were you watching on Fox?
I didn't have the other one was look, I set the recorder to tape all games.
What are you laughing at, Lefko?
Well,
of course you would end up on the wrong broadcast.
Well, one of them was it was Spanish broadcast.
It was on Root Sports in English.
It was on Root and FS1 last night.
Bob,
yes.
it said baseball.
Baseball.
I'm watching baseball, not baseball. So, and then I was like, whatever. So once I start watching it, I'm like, okay, let's see what other people think. And then he said that dumb crap, and I was like, why am I watching Fox? But yeah, I mean, he was just needlessly ridiculing Dan Wilson for no good reason.
Yeah.
At all. So
the funny part in watching that replay, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, Julio was on deck and Cal was sort of right behind Julio, and they're out there with their bats, and they're just they're not smiling, they're just kind of observing, and as JP's storming back to the dugout, you see them, both their heads are down, they're just kind of going through their thing like, I'm not even going to mess with it.
Don't look at him.
Yeah, don't look at him. Don't look at him.
Sweeping the dial.
Now I want to learn more about the other broadcast you were watching.
Yeah, I wonder who the commentators were.
Can't remember their names.
I want to have you watch the Spanish. Oh, Eric Karras.
Karras?
Yeah.
Karras. He used to play for the Dodgers.
I want to have you watch the Spanish broadcast one time and then get your thoughts on that. That could be a fun exercise.
Would know more than Bob. That's for sure.
That's sad.
It is sad.
It's sad.
Part of your heritage.
I'm half Mexican, and you speak more Spanish than I do. I can count to 10.
All right. Well, do some football norteamericano. I do know that phrase. So that's NFL, or American football.
More than I could put out.
Sam Darnold. I don't know his name though. Sam Darnold. We talked about some of the things he said with Rich Eisen, and he also kind of talked about how it feels to be the clear-cut starter, knowing that he is the guy heading into this season.
I think for me, it's nothing really changes. You know, that's kind of the mindset I had going into last year and years prior as well. But I think the biggest thing for me is just making sure that, you know, I take it one day at a time. You know, don't get too far ahead of myself or, you know, worry about, you know, what would happen this year if this happens, or, you know, you get into kind of all those things. And I think for me, it really is about just taking it one day at a time and going from there.
Do we need to come up with a new cliche after
one day at a time?
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, you want to just focus on what's in front of you right there and not worry about tomorrow. Let me just handle my business now. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. But every time I hear it, I go, ugh, jeez.
Well, we need to get a phrase, because I remember there was somebody that says, you know, the whole thing about I put my pants on one leg at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's somebody that was like, yeah, no, I put my pants on 2 legs at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we can get something like that.
I get a running start and jump into them.
You just jump into the pants. Yeah, I'm glad you told that story. Because I had not heard about how Darnold didn't want to throw out the first pitch.
Yeah. Quickly, for people that didn't hear that, I told it earlier. We were up in the suite with Adam Ray when he threw out the first pitch. Sam Darnold is his old buddy. So he was up there. Mike McDonald was up there. John Schneider. Everybody was up there. And I had a chance to speak with Darnold. Great guy, rooting for him. But part of Adam's bit was to act like he was hurt, tap his arm, call to the bullpen. He wanted Sam to come out and throw out the first pitch.
Right.
Sam told him, hey, man, let me win some games first. You know, he's a good buddy to him and everything. And he was just like, just let me just pass on that for now. Let me establish myself first, essentially.
So they went to McDonald instead.
They went to McDonald. He said, I'll do it.
Yeah. And he throws a bullet.
Yeah, he did well.
But no, I love that. That's a great attitude coming in here, and he's right. And I don't know, just the way that he's thinking that way. Because a lot of people would, and I guess if it was me too, I guess I would just, all right, they want me to do it, I'll go do it. But I just like the fact that he's aware of that.
Yeah.
Sweeping the dial.
Well, we heard something earlier about Shedeur Sanders, and that Browns quarterback room just has the potential for chaos, especially after this kind of strange interaction that Joe Flacco had with the reporter. He had some issue with being given the label as a mentor for the young quarterbacks.
What I just said, like, you're acting like I wouldn't want to be a mentor. It's like, once again, it's not really about that. It's just not the main focus. I see myself as a guy that can play in this league. So if your main focus was just like, hey, bud, I'm going to get you ready, you're just not taking care of business. The best way to be a mentor, honestly, is like show people how you go to work, you know, and like I said, hope that they pick up on that stuff, but not necessarily force them to pick up on the things that you do.
I like it.
I do too.
I like that a lot.
I do too, and it's not, Moyer always talks about that, like, especially with quarterbacks, they just expect the backup or the older guy to help the other guys along.
Take your job.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, okay, if you're going to come ask me questions, I'm not going to sit there and go, well, I'm not going to give my secrets to you.
Moyer would.
Well, Moyer would. Moyer would actually tell him the opposite. Moyer would tell him, yeah, you want to throw the ball here, and that'll get you a surefire interception. But yeah, I mean, I like that attitude, and Joe Flacco's one of those guys very underappreciated.
He's a grizzled veteran. He's 40 years old in this league, man.
Yeah.
He knows a thing or two about playing that position. He's done well, and yeah, as long as he's there, isn't that the mentality you want all those guys to have? Is no, I'm going to start. I'm good enough to start. I'm going to show them. I'd want everybody, whether it's Pickett, whether it's Sanders, whether it's Gabriel, whoever. You should feel like you've got the goods to be the starter, and you're going to show everybody.
Yeah.
And I like that he's like, look, you're acting like that should be my only job, is to be the mentor. And,
Not a babysitter.
Yeah, I'm here to play football, and he sounds like he'd be more than willing to show, look, this is how I handle my business. Doesn't mean that's how you should do it, but here's how I get ready.
Well, it's amazing. The 17 years that he's been in the league as a first rounder. Was he out of was it Delaware?
Yeah.
Or Pittsburgh?
Because I know Delaware, I think.
He went to Bowles, but I think Delaware's his senior year.
Yeah. Yeah. So look, I don't know how that room's going to shake out. I don't know who's going to be backing up who, how the pecking order is going to go when it's all said and done. And interestingly enough, Deshaun Watson is still there. He's not going to be playing, but he's going to be making a truckload of money this year, all guaranteed. So yeah, very interesting. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch from the outside. All right, coming up, we'll get the insight on Ty France and everybody else on this Twins team from their TV broadcaster, Cory Provus. He's going to join us here live on set at Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
It's a weekend clash of American League Titans this weekend in Soto.
A fair ball in the corner. Hooley around third. He's going to score.
Two of only 7 teams with 30 or more wins, both fighting off challengers at the top of their divisions.
Holy smokes.
Mariners, Twins. Wyman and Bob are live at T-Mobile beginning at 2.
This is long gone over Edgar.
First pitch at 7:10.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. Don't miss a pitch all weekend on 710 or the Seattle Sports app.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
Riverside Roofing is offering $1,000 off a new roof replacement. Book a free estimate online, and when you meet with Brandon, that's Don's son, tell him you heard the message on the radio station. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. It's Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
I've always been an athletic guy, but after turning 40, I noticed I was slowing down.
I booked a free testosterone check with Revive Health and learned that low T doesn't just impact my performance in the bedroom. I've been following a custom treatment plan ever since, and today I'm feeling stronger and more confident than ever.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, text BOOST to 65555 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to schedule your appointment. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies. Text help for help. Text stop to cancel. See privacy policy at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/privacy policy. For info on how opt-in info will be used and terms and conditions at ReviveMen'sHealth.com/terms of use for terms of short code service.
Hey 12, Steve Rabel here, voice of your Seattle Seahawks. The wait is over, and tickets are on sale now for our historic 50th season. This season is going to be legendary, with past, present, and future colliding at Lumen Field. Get your tickets today at Seahawks.com/tickets.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners looking to get back in the win column tonight. Game 1 against the Minnesota Twins, who are in town for a 3-game set. The Mariners send Brian Wu to the hill tonight. You can catch all the action starting at 6 o'clock with the pregame show. 7:10 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 7:10. Game's going on right now. Brewers up on the Phillies in the top of the 5th, 2-1 the score there. Top of the 3rd in Toronto. The Blue Jays out in front of the A's, 3-1. They're headed to the top of the 4th in Cleveland, with the Angels shutting out the Guardians 1-0. Rockies trailing the Mets 2-0. That one in the bottom of the 3rd in New York. Marlins trailing the Giants in Florida 1-0 to score. Top of the 4th in that one. Braves jump out to a 1-0 lead over the Red Sox in the top of the 3rd. Still to come, Royals host the Tigers, Rangers and Cardinals in Texas. The Astros host the Rays, Padres and Pirates in San Diego, Diamondbacks and Nationals in Arizona.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We are live at Edgar's Cantina here at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. We got the Minnesota Twins in town for 3 games, and we get a chance to speak with their TV play-by-play man joining us live on set. Cory Provus is with us. How are you, man?
I'm good, guys. Thanks for having me, and thanks for this beautiful, beautiful night here.
We worked on it for you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we got pull.
This is great. I love coming here. This is my favorite road city in baseball, and the team was off. I'm not just buttering you guys up. This is
pandering to the audience that's going to be here.
My favorite road city. I just love the field. I like the city. I like the whole vibe and the music scene, of course. So this is great place to be.
What if it was pouring rain?
We've been here for that too.
Yeah.
Then you
Still
do
looking.
indoor activities. You do the bowling tour. I've done that on
There you
off
go.
days. So yeah, you make the most of it. There's things to do even when the rain is falling.
Yeah, we were just sitting here talking about music and the music scene, and he hangs out up in my neighborhood in West Seattle. He likes to go to Easy Street Records and eat there and
Eat
shop.
and shop. Yeah.
So-
So this tomorrow is I'm off tomorrow because it's a Fox National game. So tomorrow is my big shopping spree for the season. Going to see Matt Vaughn and that Easy Street to
Lots
do some
of vinyl.
damage out there. Ton of vinyl.
Wow.
Ton of vinyl.
All right. I'm still a CD guy. It's still the superior,
Really? Okay.
superior format. But
Isn't vinyl supposedly like the most smooth, richest sound?
I think it's so clean, and I don't find it to be a nuisance to be like, oh, you hear 3 or 4 songs, and you got to flip it
the
over.
record.
I don't find that to
gotta
be a
clean
nuisance.
it.
It just doesn't seem to be that much of a problem.
Got to replace the needle at
Yes,
some point.
CD scratch too, and all that stuff. But I still like. Yeah, I'm sold on vinyl. I think it's just a wonderful, wonderful sound.
I like the artwork. I like the
Yeah.
liner notes of
Yeah.
vinyl, and I
Yeah,
like having
I
all
agree.
that. But
You know who we heard that from? Kenny Loggins. When he raised the 12th man flag, this is like 12 years ago. For whatever reason, he came up, and because my mother-in-law always says, "Oh, vinyl's like the best sound, everything," and he confirmed it. He's like, "Yeah, she's right. It's definitely."
I think it's all subjective. I think it's.
All right, you guys can battle this.
Yeah,
out.
we'll get into that
later.
later. Listeners are going, who cares about vinyl?
Yeah.
Tell us about this Twins team, which has been fascinating. What, a 13-game win streak. And that wasn't good enough to get you into first place, which
No.
speaks to how good the Tigers have been. But tell us about this. What was going right, and has anything changed since that streak?
It's amazing because the team won 12 straight last year. So the first time in team history that the team in consecutive seasons had double-digit winning streaks. So you think, all right, 12 in a row last year saved their season. And in many ways, the 13-game winning streak saved their season once again because they got off to a dreadful start. Some injuries, certainly a part of it. We just played poor baseball. We're not hitting. And yes, the weather's cold, but the other team's playing in it too, and they just were not able to put up any numbers offensively. But after the first 10 games of the season, the starting pitching really came around, and that has been the strength of this team now since, I'm talking early April, has been the starting pitching has been fantastic. And there's been just one change. The guy going tonight, Zebby Matthews, he's taken the spot of Simeon Woods-Richardson, but the starting pitching has been the savior with this team. But then the offense came around a little bit. Byron Buxton got red hot. He's back tonight off the concussion IL, which is a welcome sight. Carlos Correa had a good run. Trevor Larnach had a good run. Ryan Jeffers, Ty France has been clutch with runners in scoring position, especially with 2 outs. Harrison Bader, some big swings. Cody Clemens, a guy that they acquired from the Phillies in late April. He's been a godsend with how often he's come up with big spots to change games in the late innings. So getting some contribution from not just the guys you expect, but the unusual suspects, the unusual heroes, that certainly was a big part of it.
Well, and one of the usual guys is Byron Buxton, you just mentioned. My heart goes out to guys like that. I had a career like that in the NFL where I had 3 of my 9 years uninterrupted. The rest were injury riddled, basically, and it's always hard to get going. And for him, I think his 140 is the most games he's played, but I mean, he just seems like a guy that's been on and off the IL. But what a great competitor when he's healthy. But it seems like you have to have a certain mentality, though, to get through that, to overcome all of the injuries and everything. You just see one of those guys, I guess, that just gets hurt.
Yeah, he's had a bad run of it. There's no doubt about that. And early on in his career, there were more fluky injuries that seemed to pop up. It wasn't anything chronic until about 2021, 2022, when he started to have chronic knee problems. And that's when things really went south in terms of not even able to forget swing the bat, but he couldn't play in the outfield. I mean, 2023, that really good Twins team went to the playoffs, beat the Blue Jays in the first round, then lost to the Astros, the next round. Byron that whole year did not play a single game in center field. That was in 2023. Then last year came back, was able to play some center. But this offseason marked the first time in years he was not coming off any semblance of a knee surgery. So he had a normal offseason for the first time probably since 2019, 2020. And it showed because he came out after the first week or so. He started playing. He was running. He's diving. He's looking like the guy that he was in 2017, the guy that he was in 2019, that when he's out there, he's one of the game's best players. And, he's had some head injuries. He's had migraines. And then this collision that took place in Baltimore during the winning streak. It knocked Correa out. It knocked Buxton out. That same play. Shortstop, center fielder collided, and thankfully Carlos came back after only a week. He missed 5 games. He came back in a week, but Byron, more of a history with head injury and migraines especially, so with him they were a bit more cautious.
Ty France is a guy that was a fan favorite for a while here, and then things kind of went the wrong direction. He went to Cincinnati. Now he ends up in Minnesota. What's the perception of him out there? I know he's leading the team in RBIs. You talked about how clutch he is with 2 out RBIs. He's also a guy I thought never got his due as a defensive first baseman. Not a ton of range left to right, but he can pick it. Yeah, he did a really good job. But what's the perception of him in Minnesota?
Well, I mean, we go back to mid-February. He signed his deal in mid-February, so camp was just about to start. I mean, pitchers and catchers, they were going to report, maybe a day or two after he signed, and it wasn't even a guaranteed contract. It was, hey, if you play, you're on the team. And for Ty, it mattered. Spring training numbers mattered. Now, Rocco will tell you after the first week, 10 games of Grapefruit League play, he was on the team. I mean, he came out with something to prove, and that chip on his shoulder that was obvious from the start. He had a really good camp, and if you ask him about last year, you can kind of point to that fractured bone in his heel, that the numbers really began to plummet from that June 9th, June 6th date, whenever that injury happened. Things went south in a hurry, but he was never using that as an excuse. He said, look, I had a bad year. I picked the worst possible time in terms of where my contract is at. Free agency to have that kind of year, and he did. He was motivated, and he's been great, and especially 2 outs, runners in scoring position. He's been among the better hitters in baseball. He's hitting the ball up the middle at a higher rate than he ever has in his career. He's got like a 40%, 41%, bat on ball up the middle. Going to right field, going to right center, especially with 2 strikes. At the walk-off home run on the last homestand, he pulled that guy, Lucas Ursig, that he has history with from the Mariners and A's days. So he's come up. He's been the guy you want up there with clutch opportunities to make a difference in the game, and he's done that.
What's your impression of him defensively?
He did the range. I see where that's coming from. And in terms of the Twins last year, they had Carlos Santana, won the Gold Glove. He was first at his position in outs above average. And then they signed Ty France last year, who was dead last in outs above average. You're like, boy, how is this going to work? And I see why he gets hit because of his range, but he makes all the scoops.
Yep.
I'll say that. And, I understand some outs above average is more about the wow play. You get points for the wow play. Defensive run save, that's more volume-based. And the Twins, this is a fly ball staff. So you're not going to ever blow anybody away unless you're in the outfield, where Bader and Buxton excel in DRS because they're catching all these fly balls. But this is a fly ball staff, so you're not going to accumulate enough DRS points because you're not getting the amount of ground balls. So I see why he doesn't grade out as highly in that area as well. But watching him live, the picks, he makes all those plays.
Yeah, it's amazing watching him. And it was kind of a surprise when he first came here because he'd played some third base, right, with San Diego before he came along. Who's a guy maybe underrated that doesn't get a lot of attention, that's just a grinder for the Minnesota Twins?
Ryan Jeffers is that, and Ryan Jeffers, a former high pick. He made his debut, in fact, with Mitch Garver. When Garver was still on the Twins, those were the 2 catchers that the Twins had during the COVID season. And Garver, his playing time began to drop because Jeffers' bat was better, and you could see, okay, this tandem isn't going to last. And Ryan Jeffers, he plays a ton, good hitter. His swing profile is odd this year. He's not swinging as much. He's not been as aggressive yet. He doesn't strike out very much, and he can hit for power, hit for average. He's an important piece to this team. But Cody Clemens has been, Carlos Correa said this the other day, that he's been the MVP of this team. And Clemens is going to be in right field tonight. He made a great catch against Tampa Bay on Tuesday that saved at least 1 run, maybe 2. But without Cody Clemens, there's at least a couple of wins during that 13-game winning streak they don't have in Boston and Baltimore, that without him coming up with game-changing 8th inning, 7th inning home run swings, that 13-game winning streak never happens.
Hey, what's your impression of playing? I know you love Seattle. We were talking about that in the ballpark and everything, but we were talking about the Mariners' struggles here. They're a better road team than they are a home team, and everybody goes, well, it's a pitcher's park. It's tough to hit here. Well, you just had the Nationals, who are not a great offensive team, come in and put up 18 runs in 2 games combined. People can hit here. Teams come here and hit.
Yeah.
What's your impression of T-Mobile?
I mean, I always look at that. I always look at that park factor stat, and I get that it's always near the bottom in baseball. But then there are many times that I've been here where, there are guys that can make this ballpark look small. And you tell me, I mean, the roof is open. We have a beautiful night. I would imagine the ball is going to carry better tonight than it would in April or in May when it's, we got some rain falling and maybe the roof is closed.
The marine layer.
The marine layer, right. I couldn't find the right description there. But I love this ballpark. I think you need some speed in the outfield. And, when the Twins, Harrison Bader, he's not playing tonight. He's been down with a injured finger. Not of the IL. He's available. He's going to play tomorrow, certainly either in left or in center. I think you need some of that. And especially with the staff the Twins have, getting back to my point about the fly ball staff. But I don't know. I think, Trevor Plouffe, from working with this series, he played here, he competed here, he had poor numbers here. And if you look at a baseball career, many visiting players probably have a similar stat line, that this is not a place where they have raked and posted big numbers over their careers. But from my perspective, I love it. I just love coming here, and I vividly remember just looking from our broadcast point out in those left field seats in Kings Court. Kings Court on a Friday, and you get Iwakuma on a Saturday, and you come in here and you're like, we got no shot. We got no shot in those two games, and it was such a blast coming here because the fans just make this place so fun, especially for these weekend games when the weather's nice.
Yeah. Hey, as far as the rotation, what's your perspective on the Mariners, and especially not having 3 of the 5 starters? And I was just rattling off some of the stats, including ERA, number of hits, that they were number 1 with that staff. And they're down right now, obviously, and those guys are slowly starting to come back. But just in general, your perspective on guys like Julio and Cal and this team in general.
Well, that was what stood out watching and following the Mariners in April when they were playing great. 16-9, I think the record was in April. And your first thought is, they must be winning these 3-2 games, these 2-1 games, because the staff is so good. But then when you really dive into the numbers, it was the offense. I mean, so many guys were just putting up big numbers offensively. So you're like, I get it. There's the recipe. They have this great starting staff. They have the offense, but now things have changed here in the month of May. Yes, certainly injuries have taken a toll with how the staff is throwing right now. Last 9 games, I think Seattle's starting staff the ERA is around 5. So you don't expect that too much. No. But again, you're missing some key guys. But Brian Wu, who played college ball with Brooks Lee at Cal Poly, Cal Poly lost today, right, by 1, I think, in the regional game to Arizona. So I don't know if that's going to impact Wu and even Brooks Lee competing here tonight, knowing that their alma mater lost today in that first regional game.
Sounds like they'll be pissed off.
Yeah, right. I don't know how that's going to play out. But those two guys were teammates together. Yeah. And Brian's coach at Cal Poly is Larry Lee. That's Brooks' dad.
Oh, no kidding.
So Brooks, the head coach at Cal Poly, is Brooks Lee's dad and was Brian's college coach as well. But I still like the starting staff when you get everybody whole. And the bullpen with Munoz, that dude's a beast, and he's the best closer in the game right now.
Hey, what's your impression of Jorge Polanco as a guy that watched a lot of him in Minnesota? We were talking about him yesterday, and we had somebody text in saying, I'm from Minnesota, and this is who he is. He'll have a hot month, and then he just falls off the cliff. And I didn't follow him that closely, obviously, in Minnesota, but month of April, he hit 379. Yeah. He had 8 home runs. He couldn't miss. He was on fire. And now you look at him in the month of May, he's hitting a .136 with a 208 on base, and he's just – and by all accounts, he's healthy. He's now hitting from the right side. They weren't letting him hit. He was hitting exclusively from the left side before. So in terms of health, I've got to assume he's about as healthy as he's been, yet May has been a disaster for him. Is that his trend in Minnesota? Was the texter wrong?
He's beloved in Minnesota because he was durable. He was just going to play all the time, and he would take these swings and – he'd swing and he'd do the splits, and you're thinking, did he just tear a ligament in his knee? It doesn't look pretty, but the guy was in there just about every single day. I remember when he made his debut, he joined the Twins from A-ball. That's how the team looked at the time, and then really tells you what the 40-man looked like. He joined the Twins on the West Coast in Anaheim, coming from Fort Myers, spoke no English, directly from A-ball to the big leagues because the Twins were just so in need of an infielder, and that was a long time ago, but a beloved guy because he just showed up every single day, no matter who was pitching. Of course, being a switch hitter helped immensely, but yeah, he was a likable guy, one of the fan favorites is certainly for the Twins, but a move that nobody was surprised that his time with the team just kind of ended when it did in terms of where his contract was, who was coming behind him from the minor leagues. But he had the suspension. That's certainly going to be a part of his baseball resume and his baseball card, and he can't hide from that. But still, he came up with some big swings because he was a gamer. The guy just seemed to be in that lineup no matter what was ailing him. And he had ankle problems. He had surgery on that ankle a couple of times in consecutive off seasons. But still, when it came time to play, more times than not, he was out there.
Hey, Cory, during the 13-game winning streak, what did that feel like? And also, were you getting a bunch of jinx nonsense from people if you mentioned it or whatever? We were just at the show before us, Bump and Stacy. They did a whole thing on jinxes and, and how people just overrate that. And what was that experience like?
I mean, it was unbelievable because some of them, there weren't many lopsided games. You think you're going to have this long winning streak and, 4 or 5 of them are going to be 8, 9, 10-run wins. Right. Many of them were close games. Some come from behind wins, some walk-off wins in there as well, that they had to lean on their high-leverage bullpen arms a lot in consecutive days, maybe 3 straight days, and that was what was odd, and that it just felt like it wasn't the same guy that was coming up with the hit. I mentioned it was Clemens, but Brooks Lee had a walk-off hit in there. Ty France had a walk-off hit. So there was just guy after guy, even a bullpen piece like Jorge Alcala, who's been the last guy in the pen, who comes in maybe when you're down 3 or 4 runs to just chew up some innings. He was asked to do that in close games, and he had some of his best showings of the season during that winning streak. So that's just another name that you didn't expect to come up and deliver when he did. It was a great experience, and it's it sounds silly to say, but again, it saved their season because the way the Central's playing this year, you just can't afford, if you want any chance to keep up with the Tigers right now, you can't be 10-11 back because that team is not slowing down. So it was pivotal. It saved their season.
I know record-wise where they're at. Are they the best team in the American League, in your opinion?
I think so. I think they've got everything going right now. They've got a great manager that pushes all the right buttons, and that pitching chaos that they ran the second half of last year was incredible. Yeah, they have the Cy Young Award. They have an ace. You start with that. You have maybe the best pitcher in the game, Tarek Skubal. And Joe Torre had that line, the importance of an ace is going to keep you from losing 6, 7, 8, 9 in a row because you have that guy every 5th day that's going to stop it, and he stops it.
That's what we're counting on with Brian Wu tonight.
Yeah, he's good. Really good. Really good.
We got a rebound from this national series. That was no bueno.
James Wood's pretty good, though, huh?
That guy was so fun to watch.
Yeah.
We were just talking about
Pretty good.
I compared him to KJ Wright, who's a linebacker for the Seahawks. He's all legs.
Yeah.
6'7", doesn't really look like a baseball player, doesn't really move like one, and yet, man, we were just talking about how they went lefty-lefty or lefty-righty or whatever.
Lefty-lefty.
No, lefty-lefty, and he's hitting the same, like 282, 289 for both sides of the plate. So, I guess, is that putting you in a bad mood? Bringing back bad memories?
Yeah, it's just, they got to wash this taste out of everybody's mouth.
He's a nice player to watch.
We got sunshine, beautiful night, nice crowd, Edgar's Cantina. Come on.
Yeah, well, look, hopefully it comes at your team's expense. That's how it goes. But you're good, dude. Good to talk to you, Cory.
I enjoyed it, guys.
Nice
Thanks
to meet
a lot.
you. Enjoy your time out here.
All right, fellas.
Have
Thanks
fun
a lot.
out in West Seattle.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There you go. Cory Provus, Twins TV play-by-play man, spending some time with us, giving us some insight on this Minnesota Twins team. Reminder to make sure you catch all the excitement on this Mariners homestand. Don't miss a special K-pop fireworks show tonight. Tuesday is Bark in the Park night. Wednesday is Pride Month ticket special. And Thursday afternoon is a value game. So for more information on all of that, you can go to mariners.com/tickets and get all of the info you need there. But we'll see what the Mariners are able to do against this team. They've got the pitching edge, I would say, when you're looking at who the Twins are rolling out there versus Brian Wu. This is one that you look at and go, okay, this is one you need to get.
Yeah.
Right now, Brian Wu is the ace of this staff, as we sit. You need to get this one, and hopefully the offense is going to rebound from what they've been the past 2 games and come to life a bit here tonight.
Yeah, I was just kind of reflecting on the start of the road trip, sweeping San Diego. I just think, and look, those weren't fluke wins, man. I mean, they held them to 1 run per game.
Yeah.
So, and then you take 2 out of 3 of the White Sox. I know some people were irked about that because they're so terrible, but, and then, you go through with the Houston series, and, you still, it's a successful road trip. You're 6-4, but then you come home and think, okay, everything's all right, because we scored, was it 9 or 8?
9.
9 zip. And you're thinking, okay, we're back on track. So it's a weird place right now where they are, just trying to figure out, and we talk about all the individual pieces that add up to, what these wins and losses are. And, So there's some mysteries there.
Yeah, look, they need a successful homestand. The last homestand was a disaster. They went 1-5. It was an extra innings win against the Yankees that kept it from being a complete sweep. So they got to get it turned around starting tonight. I mean, that is just not a way to start the series or the homestand with that series against a Nationals team that frankly is just not a great team. They're not a good hitting team. They're toward the bottom of the league, and that was a team you should beat.
Yeah.
And things just did not go your way by any stretch of the imagination. So we'll see what they're able to get done tonight. And again, hopefully I'm looking for Wu to be the one to stop the bleeding, so to speak. And maybe, we'll see offensively who's going to be the spark for this lineup. I would imagine it'd be Cal. I would imagine hopefully it's going to be Julio, and hopefully it'll be, Crawford or Rosarena, the guys you truly count on game in, game out. And, not to discount the contributions of the other guys, but you need your stars to step up and be stars. And this is a time to start getting that done. So coming up, we're going to weigh in on what we need to see in this series between the Mariners and the Minnesota Twins. That is coming up next as we continue live from Edgar's Cantina here at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
It's the next phase of the Seahawks offseason, OTAs.
Jansen, he's going 40.
And Seattle sports is all over it.
The Seahawks, they're into it now.
The one thing about Mike McDonald is he knows exactly what he wants to do.
Wyman and Bob are live from the VMAC, Monday beginning at 2. Complete insider coverage at seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports YouTube channel, and the Seattle Sports app. We are the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I do need a bundle of things.
When you bundle, you save.
Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter?
Save up to $12 on that bundle.
What about brake pads and rotors?
Bundle those and the brake pads are free.
Can't save more than free.
You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx, save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Right now, get a $15 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select AC Pro refrigerant products at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. Not a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app. The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning, life, and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at HIMS.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to HIMS.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We continue live from Edgar's Cantina here at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. Mariners hosting the Twins tonight, game one of their three-game series. The T-Mobile Park roof will most certainly be open because it's a beautiful day out here. Perfect night for baseball. If you're looking for something to do on a Friday night, come on out. Watch the Mariners and Twins. Brian Wu on the hill. How do you beat that? That's the Mariners Roof Report brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. So we'll see what they do tonight. It's going to be good to see Ty France back out there.
Yeah.
He's, we talked earlier in the show about, former Seattle players, whether it's Seahawks or Mariners, whatever. Do you root for him? You root for this guy, root for that guy? Ty France is a guy I'll root for.
Absolutely.
I don't want him to come in here and crush the Mariners, obviously, but I'm glad we talked with Cory Provus, who's their TV play-by-play guy, and he talked about the fact that he got an invite to spring training. He didn't have a contract. He didn't have a guaranteed contract. He was playing for his contract and went out there and, by all accounts, crushed in spring. He said after the first week, he was on the team.
Yeah, wasn't Ty was an all-star when he was here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of forget about that. And you were talking to Cory about how good he was over at first base. Not only picking the ball, but also I just remember a couple of foul balls where he got twisted around and kind of untwisted himself and made some plays over there. So defensively, I always thought he was a big surprise. I just remember, Shannon Dreyer was always, whenever she talked about Ty France, all he does is hit. And
that was his story for a couple of seasons, and then it just started going the other way, and some of the fan base kind of turned on him, and good riddance kind of thing. And now I think they'd love to have Ty France back. A lot of those people that said that, because right now you got your Rowdy Tellez, Donovan Solano combo at first base, which
Donnie Barrels is on the rise, Bob. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm bullish on him. I'd buy his stock right now.
Yeah. Have at it. Give him your life savings.
Maybe I'd put some puts in there just in case there's a continued
What is a
downside.
put again?
You make money when it goes down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't
It's kind of
quite
a
understand how
protection.
that works. You're betting that this stock
Yeah.
is going to start to fail.
Right.
And I'm going to win money when it does.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. Basically. I told you I didn't trade stocks like for a living, but yeah, I knew some of the tricks or whatever. But anyway, I think Donnie Barrels, you just look at his career numbers, and he's so far off of it. And I know that's not a very good sales pitch right there, but you know, he's due.
Yeah,
He's
well,
due.
it's look, I'd love to have Ty France on this team, especially when you hear Cory talking about how he leads their team in RBI. He's leads their team in 2-out RBI, that he's been clutch.
Yeah.
With 2 outs and runners in scoring position. He's been coming up big for him. So, look, good for him, man. I'm rooting for him. Hopefully he's able to, save some of that for after he leaves Seattle.
Yeah, no kidding.
But, we look at tonight's matchup. I think, look, every time Wu steps onto the hill at this point, I'm expecting a win, right? As we sit right now, he's the ace. And right now, Castillo's their number 2 until everybody else proves otherwise. Until Logan gets back, until Miller gets back to being Miller. He's going to start tomorrow till Kirby gets back into form. Those are the 2 guys you're looking at. Like, when they're out there, we need to come away with a win.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned about some of these comebacks and, whether or not they're going to do rehab starts or whatever. But, you know what? I think what we're experiencing right now with the rotation is what pretty much everybody else has. You got 2 really solid, reliable guys that you can count on. You're not going to win every single game and have, he's not going to have a quality start or, every single time. But, that's kind of what other teams have, right? And then we had, when everybody was healthy, it was the kind of rotation where you and I would sit here and go, okay, who's the ace this week?
Right.
So, yeah, I'm just hoping it gets back to that. That'll be really exciting to see how far that takes this team. And, away from the kind of things that happened last night, for God's sake. Oh, good night.
Yeah,
that was just ridiculous.
We got to turn the page on that. They've got to come out with a gem tonight, right?
The second they throw the first pitch, let it go.
Yeah,
let it go.
Yeah, they've got I think it's easier for them to let it go.
Oh yeah,
like they're all focused on who's here tonight. Us as fans, we're still living with this series that they just had, which was no bueno. So hopefully we'll see a different outcome tonight. Again, I look forward to seeing Brian Wu out there on the hill. Is there? I like the Lefko put on. And by the way, Lefko made his way up to the press box. So.
He's got to do the pregame.
Pregame, yeah. So he actually left late for him. Usually he likes to get there the day before, but he's up there and getting prepped and ready. So you can take shots at him and mean texts, which are coming up in about 10 minutes at 866-979-3776. Mean text coming your way. But he asks, over or under Ty France getting hit by pitches, over or under a half. So I'll take the under. I think Wu's got pinpoint control. I don't think he's going to plunk France.
No, probably not. But I think the bigger question would be, is Arozarena going to get plunked? Because he leads Major League Baseball right now. But Ty France is on that list. I think it's only 5 right now for Arozarena. But, yeah, Ty France, always. And it was just his, setup at the plate that was.
It's only 5 times? He's been hit more than 5 times this year,
I thought
hasn't
that's
he?
what the number was. But yeah, I mean, he's number 1. I know that. And that's number 1 in not a good way.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll see. I'm counting on Wu and his command and his precision out there. And they go up, the guy they're going up against is Zebby Matthews. Zebby Matthews, who's coming in with a 7.71 ERA. He's 0-1.
Yeah.
And he's we heard about the injuries they're dealing with, so he's the guy that's been thrown in there to start. He's only had two outings, 3 innings, gave up 4 runs on 5 hits versus the Milwaukee Brewers. And then the Kansas City Royals, he went 4 innings, gave up 2 runs.
Yeah.
So not a lot under his belt to go on as far as this year. He got touched up by Milwaukee, certainly. And I would hope that the Mariners can keep that trend going. Look, if they get in a situation where they've got runners in scoring position whether it's in the first inning, second, with the first time they get in that position, they've got to come through. I just think they've got to get that moment of breathing easy, like, oh, okay. We had somebody in we had runners in scoring position. We pushed across a run or two or whatever it is, but we did it, right?
Yeah.
Just to show, okay, bouncing back from what took place in those last couple games, we're coming through.
Yeah. I think I was doing splits, maybe home and away, but it's 10. It's
yeah,
10
I was going to say 5
pitch.
sounded light.
Yeah. I know somebody's going to text in what a moron I am and that I don't know baseball.
Our texters would never do that.
Yeah.
They're often kind.
I think they would do that. No question about it.
Yeah, so 10 times he's been plunked.
Yeah, and, he's got all the gear and the padding and everything up there, so.
You know what's funny about him is anytime he gets hit, there's just that brief moment where he looks ticked.
He does.
Like,
He looks like he's going to rush the mound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you? What are you doing?
Well, he's got a little bit of Robles in him too, where he'll just stand there during a pitch, won't even like address it, and then there's other times where I see him looking out. When he looks out at the pitcher, his teeth kind of show, like looks like he's snarling at him.
It's like a dog who's growling.
Yeah,
like he's burying his teeth, man. He's not. Yeah, he's got a little edge to him. He's colorful, Dave. He's colorful.
I love it.
But he needs to get going.
Yeah,
we need him to get the bat going, because it feels like he's come up in more situations than just about anybody where he could have done damage, where they needed him to come through with a hit with runners on second and third or whatever. They've been in scoring position, and he's swinging out of his shoes, and you're like,
last night especially. And I think the bases loaded. I think the bases were loaded.
I think they were.
Yeah, and I mean,
he came up empty.
Come on.
Yeah,
so
we need him.
He's also one of those guys. I mean, we still don't know. And I asked you the question earlier about, is Julio entirely fixed? I think we've gotten to the point with Cal that we're going to expect a special season from him.
Yeah.
So I think that part, if he's going to have a little slump, whatever, I expect that. But I don't think that there's going to be a month-long slump for Cal. But with Julio, I mean, we'll see. I feel like his approach is so much better. The things that you're seeing from him at the plate, it's not like it was last year. It was a broken record.
Yeah.
So I think that part of it is fixed for him. But to your point, I mean, I think we need 3 or 4 or 5, and I don't know if Polanco's even realistic right now to be one of those guys. But Arozarena definitely is. I think JP definitely is. So, if we can get 4 or 5 of those guys that are highlighted, that are their stars and that are going to come through and in big moments, that I saw the other day. I was texting Brent Stecker, and we're 23rd as far as runs hits and with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, it's not great.
23. So yeah, we want to be in that top third.
All right, coming up, last chance to get them in. Last chance for mean text, Matt, if you're going to send in mean text. This is your final opportunity. That's coming your way next. 866-979-3776. We'll unveil your nastiness next with Wyman and Bob, live from Edgar's Cantina at T-Mobile Park. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
It's a weekend clash of American League Titans this weekend in Soto.
Hey, fair ball in the corner. Pulley around third. He's going to score. 2
of only 7 teams with 30 or more wins, both fighting off challengers at the top of their divisions.
Holy smokes.
Mariners, Twins. Wyman and Bob are live at T-Mobile beginning at 2.
This is long gone over Edgar.
First pitch at 7:10.
On the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports. Don't miss a pitch all weekend on 710 or the Seattle Sports app.
My wife and I have been married for over 15 years, and I've never had any complaints about my performance in the bedroom. But after I turned 40, things started feeling different. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and I just wasn't interested in sex anymore. My wife told me her friend's husband went through the same thing, and it turns out he had low testosterone. So we booked a free T-check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that my testosterone levels were low too. We worked with a provider to create a custom treatment plan, and today, my wife and I are having more fun than we did on our honeymoon. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
Heading to the ball game? Don't mess with traffic and pricey parking fees. Make it easy and ride the bus. It's affordable and convenient. No stress, no hassle. And plenty of time to grab a hot dog before first pitch. Community Transit makes riding the bus fun, easy, and affordable. You save money on parking, and kids under 18 ride for free. See where they can take you and plan your trip today. Go to Community Transit at ctgo.org/home run.
Riverside Roofing is offering $1,000 off a new roof replacement. Book a free estimate online, and when you meet with Brandon, that's Don's son, tell him you heard the message on the radio station. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. It's Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
An Aussie trekker travels to America to hike an epic trail.
It was rocky, it was imposing.
But Eric Robinson never made it to the end. I'm Dave Cawley. Follow my podcast, Uinta Triangle, UINTA, on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Get rid of stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin with ProSculpt, the simple one-day permanent fat reduction and skin tightening treatment. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-961-5544. 800-961-5544.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
people aren't watching on the stream.
That's all of it.
That's all we have time for.
That's all of it. All right.
Just end it.
Our thanks to Cory Provus, Twins play-by-play guy, for joining us on the program. If you missed any part of the show, head to the podcast page at seattlesports.com. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday with Wyman and Bob.
It's the next phase of the Seahawks offseason, OTAs.
Jansen, he's going 40.
And Seattle sports is all over it.
The Seahawks, they're into it now.
The one thing about Mike McDonald is he knows exactly what he wants to do.
Wyman and Bob are live from the VMAC, Monday beginning at 2. Complete insider coverage at seattlesports.com, the Seattle Sports YouTube channel, and the Seattle Sports app. We are the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. I'm excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my type of people. I met with Ray, Chris, and Nick at my home recently about getting our windows replaced. We've been in our home for over 20 years, and virtually every window has a broken seal. We talked about Harley Exteriors and their exclusive, high-quality Eurovinyl Olympic Series window. It's manufactured right here in Washington. They're designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. It's very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And through May, buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners. Get in touch with Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY, HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Hey 12, Steve Rabel here, voice of your Seattle Seahawks. The wait is over, and tickets are on sale now for our historic 50th season. This season is going to be legendary, with past, present, and future colliding at Lumen Field. Get your tickets today at Seahawks.com/tickets.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
During National Military Appreciation Month, we at University of Maryland Global Campus say thank you to the service members, veterans, and families who dedicate their lives to our country. We are deeply grateful. For over 75 years, UMGC has proudly served the military community, from installations overseas to the communities you call home. Wherever you serve, we stand with you. Learn more at umgc.edu/thanks. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the